Welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Tonight we watched the New York Yankees versus the Boston Red Sox. Should be an entertaining series. After a walk-off win by the Red Sox last night, Alex Verdugo hitting an RBI single into right. Jeter Downs was the player of the game, honestly, for the Red Sox, coming in late there. And no, I don't mean Derek Jeter. I mean Jeter Downs. He is the prospect for the Boston Red Sox, and he played very well in that game. And tonight we'll see how things go for the Yankees and the Red Sox. For the Yankees, they will go with Jameson Taillon as their starter. The Boston Red Sox will counter with Nick Pivetta. Both have about a 3.6 ERA anyway, so both very similar starters this year. But the Yankees are far and away the best team in the AL East right now, have about a 15-game lead on anybody else in the division. We are just about to get to the All-Star break as All-Star rosters were just announced today. We'll get into some of that today during the game. We'll also go over the NHL Free Agency Frenzy that's going to happen on Wednesday. Already got a comment anyway in our chat. Thanks for joining us, Bill. Appreciate you joining our live earlier anyway. But just like you, we are also looking forward to Free Agency Frenzy. Should be quite a eventful, to say the least, day anyway. A number of NHL transactions happen on that first day of free agency as players like to know where they're going to play and then get ready for their finish off their summer anyway with their families and then get started training about a month after that. But tonight's game will feature the New York Yankees and AL MVP favorite Aaron Judge against the Boston Red Sox, who counter with the offseason signing of Trevor Story, that 6-year, $140 million deal that he signed with Boston. Looks like a bargain, honestly, as to the shortstops that are going to be on the market this offseason. They should command even higher salaries. Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson, possibly Carlos Correa, Trey Turner. Free agency should be fun this offseason as well. But thank you guys for joining us. Every single one of you who joined us in our previous live streams that we did. The LA Angels, the first game of the day, LA Angels took on the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles took it 9-5, winning their 8th straight, first time since 2005 that they've been able to do so. Then we followed that up by watching the Rangers take on the Twins. Rangers were trying to get the sweep of the Twins. However, the Twins are 8 games above 500 now after winning today against the Rangers. They won the game 6-5 anyway. They played very well. Pitching, of course, was much better in that game. Offense dominated that series pretty much throughout. Lineups for today. New York Yankees are going to lead it off with DJ LeMahieu, followed by Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton. In the 5-hole, Josh Donaldson. Matt Carpenter is your DH today. He's hitting about 440 over the last week, so kind of keep your eyes peeled for that. Aaron Hicks is in the 7-hole. Trevino, who's just selected to his first All-Star game, is hitting an 8th, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is hitting 9th. For the Red Sox, they're going to go with Durant in center to lead off. Vasquez is your catcher. JD Martinez is your DH hitting 3rd. Xander Bogaerts at short. Verdugo in left, Story at second, Franchi Cordero at first base, Jackie Bradley Jr. in right, and Dahlbeck is your third baseman. Now, they, of course, haven't had nearly the bats that the Yankees have had this year. A lot of production up and down that Yankee lineup. And pitching help is on the way for the Red Sox. Chris Sale, of course, you saw the blow-up all over Twitter anyway, when he kind of lost it and tore apart the minor league locker room anyway. In his rehab start, also have Nathan Eovaldi coming back as well. So relief corps is coming on for the Red Sox. We'll see if they can propel them to being a wild card contender. Right now, they do hold a wild card spot. 4 of the 5 teams in the American League East are currently in playoff position. We'll see how they finish up the season, but I don't believe that'll be the case by the end of the season. The Seattle Mariners are coming on strong. There's a number of different teams that are right around 500, a little bit above that are waiting for one of the AL East teams to kind of slip up as they try to as they're eventually going to have to start beating up on each other. But last night, the Red Sox did win 6-5 in 10 innings. But as I mentioned, the Yankees are far and away the best team in the AL East right now. The one issue I have with them is their starting pitching. Is that young starting staff going to be able to hold up over 162? Are they going to be able to perform in the playoffs when the bright lights are on? They are in New York, so they already play under some bright lights there. But, I mean, the playoffs are a different animal. And so I expect them to try to go out and acquire a starting pitcher before the end of the season. My money is on Luis Castillo if I had to pick one. But trade chatter is abound with the Yankees right now. Joey Gallo is not in the lineup, of course, for the Yankees today. He is only hitting 166 this year. Ouch. Far cry from what he was doing with the Rangers before he was traded to the Yankees last year. Gleyber Torres gets the day off. Gonzalez is on the bench, as is Higashioka. .76 degrees there in Boston. First pitch just about to get underway. They're in the final commercial break right now. Just kind of touch up on a few things. We'll also discuss the All-Star selections, who ended up making it, who didn't. We saw that the bunch of first-timers made it this year, so we'll get into some of those. NHL Free Agency, as I mentioned, we'll do a live over that. A number of different free agents to kind of keep your eye on this year. Johnny Hockey, of course, the most prevalent among them with the Calgary Flames. Philip Forsberg just re-signed with the Nashville Predators. 8 years, $70 million. John Klingberg, of course, probably one of the favorites now to change teams after the Dallas Stars chose to draft 5 defensemen and kind of restock their young defense core there. But he is going to be a free agent this offseason. There have been talks between the Dallas Stars and his camp, but nothing as of yet. For those of you who are New York fans, Ryan Strom's a free agent. Andrew Kopp as well from your Rangers. Boston Bruins fan, there's a lot of age now on your team. Are you going to be able to get another great year out of Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand? You already saw Chara is no longer on the team, has been gone for a couple of years now as the team looks to get a little bit younger. Charlie McAvoy is still there. NBA free agency kicked off the other day, and most of the free agents, the good ones anyway, are all signed. Nothing really big in free agency so far. Biggest free agent out there that actually changed teams was Jalen Brunson. He's expected to sign his contract 4 years and $104 million with the Knicks on Monday. So kind of keep your eyes peeled for that one. It sounds like they're not going to end up doing a sign and trade. Just sounds like they're going to sign him into cap space and then make all their other moves work behind that. Thought they might have tried to work out a trade. That way they could make other things work as far as the cap, but it sounds like it's not going to happen. All-Star game is later on this weekend, or coming up next weekend anyway. MLB draft is coming up as well. Drew Jones is expected to be the #1 pick by the Baltimore Orioles. Now, if the Orioles decide to split up that money like they have the last several years, maybe they go and get a good prospect with their first overall pick and then are able to try to lure away a top prospect in the second round by offering him more money. We'll see what happens. Aaron Judge and the Yankees digging in the dugout, getting ready to go. Aaron Judge going to be a free agent after this season. It's going to be very interesting where he ends up going. I believe the Yankees are honestly a 50-50 bet right now to retain Aaron Judge. I think wherever he goes, he's going to print money for whichever team he goes to. So the contract that he signs is going to be not even close to his actual value to the team. Just seems like the Yankees and Judge are a great fit. Box office all the way. All rise for Aaron Judge and all that. It's been fantastic in New York. They basically squashed the squabble that they had over arbitration, $21 million versus $17, ended up settling on $19 plus incentives. Honestly, Aaron Judge probably would have won that arbitration case, but it sounded like they just want to quash it and get to the season. Yankees don't need to worry about having headlines out there saying what they think Aaron Judge does wrong when you're trying to lure him in free agency in the offseason. Better just to go ahead and solve everything. Aaron Judge will be batting second tonight. LeMahieu to lead off, followed by Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Carpenter, Hicks, Trevino, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to round it out. Again, Nick Pivetta is going to be your starter for the Boston Red Sox today. Looks like we finally are taking the field in Boston. I'm sure they're going to try to squeeze out one more commercial break here in a second. Pivetta, again, a 3.68 ERA, has thrown about 100 innings this year, 23% strikeout rate, walked about 8%, right about MLB averages for both of those. In the last live, we mentioned that Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols were both selected by the commissioner to be in the All-Star game. Your starters for the American League anyway. Alejandro Kirk from Toronto, his first ever All-Star selection, is going to be your catcher. First base, Vlad Guerrero Jr. in his second All-Star appearance. Jose Altuve won the voting for second base. This is his 8th All-Star appearance. In this game anyway, Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox. This is his second All-Star game. Tim Anderson from the White Sox, also his second. Mike Trout, no surprise, voted to his 10th. He's having a little bit of a down year from Mike Trout level standards, but he's still a very good, highly productive player, and there's absolutely nothing protecting him in that lineup outside of Ohtani. Aaron Judge, we've mentioned him already today. He was voted in for the 4th time. Giancarlo Stanton voted in for the 5th time. And Shohei Ohtani is your designated hitter in the American League for the 2nd time. For the National League, Wilson Contreras from the Cubs gets the his third selection as catcher. Paul Goldschmidt, his 7th. He is, in my opinion, the favorite for the NL MVP. Jazz Chisholm gets his first All-Star nod and will start at second base from the Miami Marlins. Manny Machado from the San Diego Padres in there for the 6th time in his career. Trey Turner gets the shortstop nod as we are just about to get underway. First pitch by Pivetta. Way up high, ball 1 to LeMahieu. Ronald Acuna, even with the short playing time that he's played so far this year, gets his third nod to the All-Star game. Second one also up high from Pivetta, unable to locate that pitch. Mookie Betts, the former Red Sox, current Dodger, also is going to be starting in the outfield, his 6th nod to the All-Star game. Jock Peterson, he's having a great year this year for the Giants and is actually getting some support from that fan base, got a lot of votes. He will be celebrating his 2nd appearance in the All-Star game. Bryce Harper was voted to the All-Star game, but of course he is injured, so William Contreras from the Atlanta Braves was voted in. 2-2 now to LeMahieu after Pivetta is finally able to find the zone. The game this year will be at Dodger Stadium out in LA. Looking to get out of the heat if you're in one of our southern states. Avoid that 100-degree heat. Beautiful curveball there by Pivetta. Freezes LeMahieu. Catches him looking, and the first out of the inning. Just a great pitch there. LeMahieu just unable to get the bat off of his shoulders. Players elected to William Contreras to be in the All-Star game, so the lineup for the NL will feature 2 Contreras brothers. One and one after that curveball bends in there to Judge. Judge stands in there very tall. You can see how much power he's got just by his physique's just standing there. That is set, and the delivery. Up high. Is Judge able to lay off? Oh, they say he was not. Say he went around there. It's now 1-2 to Aaron Judge. I don't know if he actually went around. Let's find out. Yep, he did. Pivetta set, and the delivery. Curveball, grounded to third base, but foul. Nice strong throw there, but that was a foul ball. Pitchers for the American League. Out of the Oakland A's, it's Paul Blackburn, gets his first All-Star selection. Emmanuel Clase from the Cleveland Guardians gets his first selection. Garrett Cole, his fifth. Nestor Cortez from the Yankees as well gets his first. Clay Holmes gets his first. A couple of relievers getting some love in the American League. Jorge Lopez from Baltimore as well. The pitch by Pivetta popped up by Judge and lands softly into center as they were unable to get out there in time and get there. So Judge is on with a base hit. Not all of them can be 500-foot moon shots. That one leaves the bat at 65 miles an hour and finds a hole out in center field. Alex Manoah out of the Toronto Blue Jays gets his first nod. Shane McClanahan out of the Tampa Bay Rays gets his first. We already mentioned Shohei Ohtani. He's going to be a pitcher and a hitter in this game. Martin Perez, there's an interesting story on that we'll get to later. He gets his first nod from the Rangers. Gregory Soto gets the second anyway, gets his second from the Tigers. Framber Valdez, who no-hit the Yankees earlier this year, gets his first, and Verlander gets his ninth. Rizzo standing in there, takes ball one. On the National League side, Sandy Alcantara gets the nod for the Miami Marlins, his second. David Bednar from the Pittsburgh Pirates gets his first. Corbin Burns, the starter from the Brewers, gets his second. Luis Castillo, we'll mention him a lot later on in this live stream anyway, got his second nod. Monster pop-up by Rizzo over by third base, waiting for it to come down. Oh! Ooh, that was a little bit more dangerous than they wanted it to be there. But a nice catch made. Dahlbach making the out there. No Devers in the lineup today for the Red Sox. That pitch up high to Stanton. And he's ahead 1-0. Edwin Diaz of the Mets got his second nod to the All-Star game. Max Fried from the Braves, his first. Tony Gonsolin from the Dodgers, his first. Beautiful pitch there, just outside, says home plate umpire. That one looked like it was right on the edge of the zone, honestly. 2-0, though. Josh Hader got the nod, his fourth. Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals, his first. Kershaw, his ninth. Joe Mantiply from the Diamondbacks, his first. Nice hard hit ball by Stanton all the way out and gone. A home run by Giancarlo Stanton. That's what the Yankees have been expecting all year round. Ever since that they made that deal for Giancarlo Stanton, they wanted the MVP that was with the Marlins. They were willing to eat the price tag of it. 114 miles an hour off the bat, 393 feet into the Red Sox bullpen, and the Yankees have a 2-0 early lead. Alcantara is very nasty. I mean, there are very few people I wouldn't trade in MLB. He is one of them. But there was mentioned to be interest from the Marlins for Juan Soto, and apparently Sandy Alcantara's name wasn't enough to even get the conversation started. That tells you just how highly people think of Juan Soto. Home run there by Giancarlo Stanton. Yankees very happy with the early lead. They have not had a problem scoring runs this year. Donaldson in there, takes strike one as it bends in. Pivetta working a lot with that off-speed pitch so far. The last pitcher for the NL is Joe Musgrove. Gets his first nod for the Padres. Thanks, Clay, for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. We do a lot of lives, baseball especially during the summer. As training camp gets underway, we'll do some lives as well discussing the NFL season. And then once the games kick off, we'll probably do some lives on Sundays during the NFL season, maybe even during Thursday Night Football. We'll see. The more people that subscribe, the more people that tell me what team, what content y'all want to see, the more I will try to do for y'all. Reserves for the American League. The catcher, anyway, is Jose Trevino. He's had an outstanding year for the Yankees ever since coming over from the Rangers. Never really saw this coming out of him as a Ranger fan. I had watched him the previous 3 years that he was with the Rangers. I also watched his minor leagues. Nothing in his minor league career or even in his major league career could have seen this coming, and he has absolutely been astounding with the New York Yankees. Congratulations to Jose Trevino. Really happy for you. Hope you have all the success in the world. You really deserve it. He's a stand-up guy, great character. He ranks third among catchers with 2.4 WAR, behind only 2 other all-star catchers. He's the best framing catcher according to all the metrics in baseball. He's 8 runs above average with pitch framing according to StatCast. For the NL, Travis d'Arnaud from the Braves gets his first all-star selection as well. 10-year veteran finally breaks through. Won a World Series, of course, last year. He's hitting .267 this year with 11 home runs and 37 RBIs. Pivetta set and the pitch outside, and the count evens 2-2 to Donaldson. Donaldson, of course, had those racist remarks during that game with the White Sox, faced a Yankee suspension anyway for his actions during that game. Matt Carpenter came in and filled in very nicely for him, even outperformed him by a wide margin. But Donaldson, the high-priced acquisition this offseason for the Yankees. In that trade, they got Isaiah Kiner-Falefa as well. That one finishes below the zone, and it's 3-2 now to Donaldson. Pivetta set, and the pitch. Low, but the curveball entices the swing out of Donaldson, unable to make contact. But the Yankees are up 2 on the Giancarlo Stanton 2-run home run, 114 miles an hour off the bat, just a great swing. And after the top half of the first, it is 2-0. The rest of your All-Stars around the American League, Luis Arraez gets his first nod for the Minnesota Twins. He's been their best hitter this year. Didn't have a great day at the plate today, but still is hitting close to like 350, I believe. Xander Bogaerts gets his 4th All-Star selection from the Red Sox. We already mentioned Miguel Cabrera was a special selection, his 12th. Jimenez from the Guardians gets his first. He was one of the pieces that was acquired in the Francisco Lindor trade. And Jose Ramirez also gets the nod, his 4th from the Guardians. On the NL side, Pete Alonso gets the nod from the Mets, his 2nd. Nolan Arenado, his 7th. Probably the best defensive third baseman in the game right now. C.J. Cron gets his first All-Star selection from the Colorado Rockies. He's been fantastic this year. Former Angel, former Tiger. Jeff McNeil of the Mets gets his 2nd. We already mentioned the Albert Pujols one. And Dansby Swanson, in a free agent year, gets his first All-Star selection from the Braves. Outfielders, anyway, your American League, you got Andrew Benintendi from the Kansas City Royals, gets his first. We're going to mention him a lot later on as a trade target. Byron Buxton also surprisingly gets his first nod to the All-Star game. He has been a very talented player. I guess it's just not been healthy enough around the All-Star break to be able to put up the numbers to be deserving of an All-Star nod. But he's been fantastic for the Twins this year. He's got 23 home runs this year. He hit another one today. Julio Rodriguez is a rookie. Did something very few players have ever done in Major League history. He's following in the footsteps of Ichiro Suzuki, A-Rod, and Ken Griffey Jr. That's a lot of Mariners hierarchy there, of Mariner history as well. He gets his first nod. George Springer gets his fourth from the Blue Jays. Finally finds his way back to the All-Star game after spending much of his career with the Astros. And speaking of those Astros, Kyle Tucker, the left fielder slash right fielder for them, gets his first nod for the Astros. Jameson Taillon takes the mound for the Yankees, 3.63 ERA, 89 innings this year. First pitch, just outside, ball one. As I mentioned, the Yankees are 15 games up on the Red Sox in the AL East. Jarren Duran trying to get things started here for the Red Sox. The pitch, right down the middle, fouled down the third base line. On the NL side in the outfield, you got Ian Happ, gets his first All-Star selection from the Cubs. Starling Marte has been a fantastic signing for the Mets. 4 years, $80 million, I believe is what he got, something like that. His second selection to the All-Star game. Kyle Schwarber gets his second from the Philadelphia Phillies. Juan Soto gets his second selection from the Washington Nationals. He's not having as good a year as you might have hoped for Juan Soto, but things seem to be turning around for him. Of course, there are injury issues with him this year as well. He is the youngest player on the National League squad at 23 years old. Designated hitter Yordan Alvarez for the American League is your backup there. That one's just outside. The count evens at 2-2 to Durant. Durant hitting .291 this year. But as I mentioned in the earlier live stream, Yordan Alvarez is going to miss a little bit of time. I told Dusty Baker that his injury is just getting a little bit worse, and so they're going to go ahead and shut him down before the All-Star break. I do not expect him to play during the All-Star game. He leads the majors with a .653 slugging percentage. That's amazing. 26 home runs, 60 RBIs, hitting .306 and over 1,000 OPS. In case you're wondering, those are all fantastic numbers. But those are your reserves for the American League and National League. Little tapper by Duran, fielded by LeMahieu, flipped on to Rizzo, and Duran is out number one. That's kind of cool. They got Billy Crystal in the booth now with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez. Those of you who are unfamiliar with Billy Crystal, I encourage you to look up his IMDb. Fantastic actor for a number of years. Princess Bride, City Slickers, number of other films. Christian Vasquez digs in. Never really thought of as a great hitter at the catcher position. That one bounced off of Taillon. He's able to bounce off the mound and get there. And there's out number two. 103 miles an hour off the bat there, but Taillon says he's all right after taking that one in the gluteus maximus. Two away here as the Red Sox try to even things up. Looks like that one might have actually gotten him in the hip. Taillon, who's struggled with lots of injuries in his career. Last thing you need him doing is taking baseballs off the hip. JD Martinez, a 139 OPS plus. Major League average is 100. For those of you wondering, that's fantastic. Those are your all-star selections anyway. We'll go through a number of different options there. Check up on their stories. A lot of good stories around Major League Baseball this year. They just pop up on the screen. That the injuries that Taillon has indeed faced. Martinez pops that one up. Trevino is there. and makes the catch. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Yankees. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Red Sox after 1. And we go to the second. Thank you guys for joining us on our live stream again. As we mentioned, we're going to do a live stream on Wednesday about the NHL Free Agency Frenzy. Join us around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. I got one event I have to be at in the morning, and then I will get back home as quickly as I possibly can and start that live stream up. Number of different moves have already been made. Kevin Fiala had his rights traded to the LA Kings for a first-round pick and has since signed a 7-year deal with there. I am. Stars are actually my favorite team. If I had to watch one sport, I would watch hockey. There's nothing like hockey. If you actually get to go to a game, you'll understand why. I mean, the action is nonstop, even when the game may not be high scoring like a football game or something like that. But yeah, I'm a huge hockey fan. Thanks, Charles. I've been to say passionate sports fan is, in my opinion, putting it mildly. I've been an avid sports fan even when I was like 6, 7 years old. It's what me and my dad kind of grew up. That was our bond. It was really enjoyable, listening to ESPN radio on the way to school in the morning, on the way home from school, watching ESPN, watching Ranger games at home, watching the Mavericks game when I grew up as a kid. When I was very young, I lived up in South Dakota, watched Kirby Puckett play. I was a little too young to remember the Jack Morris game in 1991. But yeah, I've always been an avid sports fan. Thanks for joining us again, Charles. Appreciate it. Welcome back, James. What do you think the Yanks should do with Gallo, and is Luis Castillo a real option, like you mentioned in your earlier live? First, what should they do with Gallo? First, of course, is going to be to move off the money of Joey Gallo. That saves you a lot of money that you can then use to bring in another player. You don't have to worry about salary implications, tax implications, if you're able to move off of the money of Joey Gallo. Besides, Gallo's doing nothing for you offensively. He's hitting 166. He's striking out a mile a minute right now. It just hasn't worked out in New York ever since the trade was made. Maybe it's the bright lights. Maybe it's just getting away from Texas, where he seemed to really be at home, where he wanted to stay. Maybe just the fit in New York with all the mashers and not really having anybody else in between those mashers. Whatever the combination is. But Gallo should definitely be on the move. A number of different teams I expect to be interested, but primarily going to be the Padres, Rangers, Twins, and White Sox. I believe it'll come down to either the Padres or Rangers to get back his services. Maybe a trade of, I mentioned this earlier, Cole Calhoun going back to the Yankees. A nice reserve piece that they don't have to spend the prospect capital to go after a guy like Andrew Benintendi. That would make a lot of sense for both teams. Cole Calhoun has played well for the Rangers this year, but he's only hitting 230 and change. That's still a far cry better than 166. And he can play both positions, right and left. So that would make a lot of sense in my opinion. I don't have a Patreon yet. I'm actually in the work. Funny you should mention that. I'm actually in the process of starting up a podcast pretty soon. I've already got some. I've already got the different platforms already locked down as far as the name, the TikTok, the Facebook, and all that. But I haven't done anything on either of those platforms. I did a little bit on TikTok, but I'm trying to get this YouTube going. But I'm thinking maybe of doing a podcast as well, because a lot of the lives that I do, I discuss a lot of the other things going on. Matt Carpenter fouls that one off to stay alive at 3-2. Pavetta making it work. Yeah, I started out calling it a live stream, but I wasn't getting many views, and I don't know why. So I switched it up to live WP, watch party, So we'll see what ends up happening. I might end up going back with just doing stream and see what happens with that one. It's all how you phrase it. But to finish out your second part of your question, James, is Luis Castillo a real option for the Yankees? I believe he is. The Yankees have a lot of youth in that rotation. That pitch misses inside. Pivetta issues the leadoff walk, already up to 32 pitches through an inning plus. Yikes if you're a Red Sox fan. Red Sox-Yankee games almost always go long. I'm expecting this to go as long as a 4-hour live stream. It seems to always be a 4-hour game between the Yankees and Red Sox, so we'll see what happens here. Carpenter works the leadoff walk. He was in the Rangers organization after retooling his swing over the past year. Aaron Hicks is in there, working his way back from injury last year. Luis Castillo, of course, is the starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. He's probably going to be the one that commands the highest price if Ohtani is not made available by the Angels. But that definitely requires some of the New York Yankees' best prospects. But they have a really great team, possibly a once-in-a-10-year type of team, the way they're playing so far this year. They're just getting great offensive production, but I worry about that pitching staff, especially as we get into August and September, and most certainly in the playoffs. You saw how many first-time Yankees are making it, or first-time performers are making it from the Yankees. Clay Holmes, Nestor Cortez, those type of players. I don't expect those type of players to perform that well in the postseason just because they're so young. They need somebody with some experience. Not that the Reds have had an overwhelming experience in the playoffs, but just somebody who's been in and out of the lineup every single day, or pitching rotation every single day, makes starts, posts every day. Luis Castillo does give that, and that's exactly what the New York Yankees are going to need, I believe, down the stretch. They need somebody to kind of follow up to Cole. Cortez could be one of those options, but Tyone could be one of those options. But I think they're going to need a starter around the deadline. Thanks for the questions so far. Really appreciate you guys. Pivetta falling behind again. They make a note that Pivetta has walked 13 leadoff hitters, tied for the most in Major League Baseball. That does tend to increase your earn rate. Oh, wow. Great pitch there by Pivetta. Just, and I mean just, caught the very bottom of that zone. 3-2 evens it up to Aaron Hicks. Another full count to yet another New York Yankee hitter. Set by Pivetta. And the pitch. Low ball 4. Back-to-back walks here by Pivetta. And that's going to trigger a mound visit here. Already down 2-0. 2 runners on. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Down 15 games in the standings right now to the Yankees. Red Sox can't afford to be losing these series to the Yankees. So every win, every single game against them head-to-head matters that much more. Pivetta seems to be trying to shake off his pitching coach. Not exactly what I like to see. Maybe that's just how he operates, though. Carpenter on second, Hicks on first, back-to-back walks to lead off the inning. Trevino, who just was selected to his first All-Star game, digs in. The former Ranger set. Takes one just on the edge of the corner. Good call there by the umpire. And I mean just caught the edge. He's getting some benefits of the calls right now. But he's dancing all around the outside of that strike zone. No, not around Pier. If any of y'all are familiar with South Dakota, Aberdeen's in the east side anyway of South Dakota, kind of towards the middle, northern part of the state anyway. Right around there is where I grew up when I was very small. We're talking like 0-5. And then tried to keep my Minnesota and South Dakota loyalties to those teams, Timberwolves, Twins primarily, and especially the Vikings. Any of those teams are on, I usually cheer for them unless the other team I like a little bit more. And then, of course, Minnesota Wild were finally created again in the NHL. It was kind of weird having the state of hockey without hockey. So they finally got their team again. Trevino, a hard hit ball down the line. That will go to the wall. 1 run will score. Verdugo flips it back in. Oh, and out at second is Trevino. Ouch. But a run does score. Hicks is able to get to third. I am also a Cowboys fan. It's tough to say that, but ups and downs, ins and outs, I'm always a Cowboys fan. Now, I'm not one of those that believes we're going to the Super Bowl every single year, but I also don't like to dog them just because that's the popular thing to do. I will be streaming some NFL games later on this year. Ugh, that tag just got in there in time. I'm gonna try to get the Sunday ticket as well, so that way we can watch more than just Red Zone this year. I usually do Red Zone for early part of the season. NFL for me, after about halfway through the season, I start to lose some interest, especially from a fantasy football perspective. I don't know why. It just loses its luster, I guess, to me. Nice base hit there, up through the box again. IKF getting the job done, and it's now 4-0. Yankees in front. Pavetta unable to knock this one down. No Discord anyway. Primarily doing the YouTube thing, that kind of thing. So if you have friends, send them the link. Tell them to subscribe. It really does matter. Oh, I post out on Twitter a lot anyway, as to when I'm going to be posting. I post under my account, and I also post under the Upside account on Twitter. So look up Upside Sports Network on Twitter. I believe that's the handle. Let me pull it up again real quick. It's at Upside SN. That's the Twitter handle. At Upside SN. There you go. Appreciate it, Charles. Anytime we post a new video on any subject anyway, that's where it will be posted. So that way you guys know, because I know YouTube does restrict the number of notifications you're allowed to get to 3 a day. So if you're curious, because we try to put out a lot of content anyway, and eventually we will have it differentiated between the different teams. But as of right now, it's all under the main heading of Upside Sports Network. But anytime we put out a video, that's where it will go under. Haven't put out any shorts yet today, but tomorrow should be a heavy day with shorts that I'll be posting tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Some on the NBA, a little bit on the trade talk that I've already mentioned in this video with Joey Gallo, Luis Castillo as well. One and two, the count to LeMahieu. 47 pitches so far for Pivetta. He's through an inning and a third. I don't think he's going to be able to go 5 today. Yankees do like to take a lot of pitches. That pitch would probably have been a ball, but LeMahieu swings, gives it over to second base, force out at second. 2 away now. Pivetta trying to get out of it here in the second after allowing another 2 runs to score. Aaron Judge, though, digging in for his second at bat. Pivetta set, and the pitch. Just off the outside corner, ball 1 to Aaron Judge. One of the things I mentioned in the last inning anyway was the possibility of Aaron Judge being a free agent this offseason and maybe even leaving the New York Yankees. I don't think that's the most likely outcome, but I think it's a 50-50 shot right now. Primarily because Aaron Judge is just that good of a player. Other teams are going to be willing to fork over whatever they need to be able to get something like that done. The Yankees already have lots of money committed to a number of different stars on their team. That's part of the reason why they didn't go after Carlos Correa this past offseason, so they would have more money to go towards Aaron Judge. But as good a season as Aaron Judge has had, he's really racketed up that price. I fully expect him to command a 10 to 13 million or 10 to 13 year long deal anyway. Now maybe as the end of that contract rolls around, maybe he turns into kind of a lumbering giant. He won't be able to play the outfield as long. Those kinds of things are worries. But as dominant as a player as he is right now, even with that strikeout, as Pivetta screams into his glove there, nice pitch there by Aaron Judge, froze him all the way. He knew it was a strike. 0 for 2 on the day so far. Or excuse me, 1 for 2 on the day for Aaron Judge. But the teams like the Giants, the Dodgers, and maybe even the Rangers are a team to watch. Rangers, of course, need all kinds of outfield help. Spent over $500 million in free agency on 2 players last year, and they held back. That's the thing. They had trimmed their payroll down to like $25 million. As a Ranger fan, there's always rumors that they might go after the next big free agent. There always is. But they finally did so this past year. Chris Young was able to lure away the top free agent on the market in Corey Seager. That contract is absolutely beautiful as of right now. We'll see how it ages. But they were able to lure the top free agent on the market in Corey Seager. They now have Simeon. They got some starters that they can work with. Their bullpen's doing very well. All they're missing really is a good outfield. They got some good young infield prospects already there and coming along the way as well. Starting pitching is coming as well, but they don't have that many great starters currently. Maybe this is the year they get a guy like Clayton Kershaw to say yes after seeing the success that they've had, the turnaround. No team has had a 21-game turnaround from a win-loss perspective. That's where the Rangers have been pretty much angling around all year round so far. So we'll see if they can get to that point. But for a guy like Aaron Judge, who sees that kind of production coming after just a couple of signings and having all that money to spend, maybe they chose to put it all on Aaron Judge. Who knows? As a Ranger fan, I'm not really hoping for that, but it's a possibility. The other option, of course, is they could go out and get Trey Turner, who's a free agent this offseason. But for Aaron Judge, there's a number of different avenues that he can go. But I do think the favorite as of right now would be the New York Yankees. But I think it's a 50-50 shot of whether or not he even comes back. So we'll see. The Josh Donaldson contract was an albatross for the Minnesota Twins. They were able to offload it by trading away Isaiah Kiner-Falefa after just making the deal for him in the Mitch Garver trade. That allowed them to free up some money to be able to go after a guy like Carlos Correa. Now that the Yankees have Josh Donaldson, Is he the albatross for them that they need to attach a piece to in order to free up some money to be able to re-sign somebody like Aaron Judge? And is IKF your long-term answer at short? I don't think so, but they got a couple of good young prospects there. Will they still be there after the deadline if they go after a guy like Luis Castillo or Andrew Benintendi? I don't know. 1-1 the count to Bogaerts, and he fouls that one away. Bogaerts hitting .309 on the year. Dodgers have actually come back in the top of the 8th, just checking on their score. It's now 11-9 after the Cubs had taken an 8-3 advantage earlier. Again, the Orioles extended their win streak to 8 by beating the Angels. Braves had a walk-off in the 12th. Austin Riley knocking in 3 runs in that game against the Nationals. Bogaerts fouls that one off, remains 2-2. Reds 10-5 winners over the Rays. Marlins 2-0 winners over the Mets in 10. Royals 5-1 over the Guardians. White Sox 4-2 over the Tigers. Pittsburgh able to edge the Brewers 8-6. Cardinals 4, Phillies 3. Twins avoid the sweep and get the 6-5 win in Texas. Astros finish off the A's 6-1. The Colorado Rockies come from behind, get the 3-2 win over the Diamondbacks. Giants all over the Padres 12-0. And the Mariners able to sneak out the victory, come from behind, and get the 6-5 victory over Toronto. Bogaerts fouls that one off again. Looks like we'll have a 9th pitch of this at bat, making Tyone work. Bogaerts again hitting .308. 831 OPS with 7 home runs. The pitch, nice pitch by Tyone, right at the knees, a nice slider, 87 miles an hour, and gets the strikeout. Alex Verdugo up next. First strikeout of the game there by Tyone. As I mentioned, the NHL Free Agency Frenzy is going to start up on Wednesday. We will try to be live right around 8, 9, 10 o'clock as soon as I possibly can. I do have an event I have to be at. Cannot miss it. But we will try to bring you all the latest news. So far in the NHL, one of the top free agents on the market, already off the board, Philip Forsberg signs an 8-year, $68 million deal to remain with the Nashville Predators. Adrian Kempe of the LA Kings signs a 4-year, $22 million contract extension. And Alexander Georgiev, the goalie, signs a 3-year, $10.2 million extension to remain with the Avalanche after winning a championship there just a few weeks ago. Forsberg, 27, an 8.5 AAV for the next several years. Great contract by the Predators. Able to keep their core intact after spinning off Arvidsson to the Kings for picks earlier. They drafted a guy that looks just like him, honestly, in the first round of the draft a couple of days ago. 3-1, the pitch by Tyone right at the bottom of the zone. A little bit of a surprise there. The Yankees, of course, owe their success so far this year is that they're the only team to have 5 starters, make 15-plus starts this year, as the graphic popped up on ESPN. They've been unbelievably healthy. Last year, of course, they were snake-bitten by a number of injuries. This year, they've been the healthiest team by far. And, of course, they've had a lot of innings now among those young starters. We'll see how those innings hold out over a 162-game season. 3-2 now to Verdugo. 25th pitch of the day for Tyone. That one misses inside, and Verdugo works a 1-out walk. 4-0 here, our score in the bottom of the second. Yankees on top. Yankees was a 15-game lead already in the AL East. Trevor Story digging in. Hasn't had the greatest first season in Boston, but he's their insurance should Xander Bogaerts go elsewhere this offseason. He's playing a little bit out of position at second. So maybe him getting back to short, if Bogaerts does leave, will make his numbers go up a little bit more as he's more comfortable at the shortstop position, I'm sure. He was the last of the, or second to last anyway, of the top free agents, shortstops out there to sign. The last being Carlos Correa. Javi Baez went off the board first to Detroit. He's also having a down year. The Rangers sniped 2 of them. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager both going to Texas. Semien taking over that second base spot. Seager at short. And Carlos Correa, of course, going on that 3-year, $105 million deal to the Minnesota Twins with opt-outs after the first and second year of that deal. Odds to win the World Series right now, the Yankees are the favorite. That one fouled off the foot of Trevor Story, and it's 1-2. I was right off the inside of that front foot. Seen a lot of those today. Other moves around the NHL anyway. Zach Cassian was traded by the Oilers along with their first-round pick, number 29, their second-round pick, and their third-round pick to the Coyotes in exchange for their number 32 pick. In case you're wondering, that means it's a salary dump to move up 3 spots for the Yotes, and they get a second and a third out of it to take on that contract. Peter Mrazek was traded by the Maple Leafs to the Chicago Blackhawks for a second-round pick. Ground ball to first, on to short, back to first. Tyone unable to get his foot down on the bag to end the inning. A little bit high of a throw there by IKF. The Coyotes were very active during the NHL draft. They traded their number 11 pick for the number 27, and they got 2 second-round picks out of it as well, hoping for as many lottery tickets as they possibly can as they deal with payroll issues and funding issues, honestly. Stadium issues as well. Story now on first as Cordero digs in. Story is back there after the pickoff attempt. A lot of below average performance out of that lineup for the Red Sox this year, yet they still are in a playoff spot. Right down the middle, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Cordero unable to make contact. Cordero to deep center field. Hicks looking up, and it's gone. 2-run homer there by Franchi Cordero. Gets the Red Sox on the board. It's now 4-2. 108 miles an hour off the bat, a 421-foot home run. Cordero came over from the Royals in that Benintendi deal. Suffice to say, the Royals think they got the better end of that one. Red Sox very happy with the results right there. Swing and a miss there. Jackie Bradley Jr. swinging for the fences on that one. That one misses upstairs, and it's 1-1 now. Appreciate you guys joining us for the third leg of our triple header. We watch the Angels versus the Orioles. Orioles extend their win streak to 8. Twins avoid the sweep and get the 6-5 win over the Rangers in Dallas, or Arlington anyway. And now the nightcap, Yankees on top 4-2 here in the bottom of the second. Bradley Jr. floats one into center. Nice catch there by the incoming Hicks. But the home run there by Cordero cuts the lead in half for the New York Yankees. And we'll see how things go here the rest of the way, if the Red Sox can pull together. But after 2 innings, it's 4-2. Checking in on the rest of the scores around the league. Looks like everything might have gone final by now. Let me just double check. Nope, still in the bottom of the 8th anyway. Let me just double check and make sure. Yep. Dodgers still in front, 11-9 over the Cubs. Good afternoon baseball there, turning into evening baseball. As we wait for the third to get underway. Appreciate you guys joining us for the Yankees and Red Sox Sunday night baseball game. As we mentioned, we're going to be doing the live stream of the NHL Free Agency Frenzy on Wednesday. Number of different free agents out there to be signed. We also already saw Chris Letang go back to the Pittsburgh Penguins on a 6-year, $6 million AAV. 1-1 the count. To Rizzo. Number 1 on the board is going to be Johnny Gaudreau. Does he end up leaving Calgary? I don't know. Swing and a miss there by Rizzo, unable to catch up to that one. Matthew Tkachuk, also of the Flames. He is an RFA, though, restricted free agent, in case you're wondering. Pivetta misses with that one, and it's 2-2. Jason Robertson, also an RFA. He was fantastic for the Stars this past year, over 40 goals, I believe. Evgeny Malkin, longtime Pittsburgh Penguin, is also a free agent. Nazem Kadri. He's expected to end up back with the Avalanche. That one might have gotten a little too much barrel there as Rizzo drives it to right. Jackie Bradley Jr. doesn't get there. It goes off the glove, off the wall, back in. Rizzo with a stand-up double there. Didn't miss a home run by much there. This Yankee lineup certainly can mash. If you're a Yankee fan, you're very lucky. Oh, no, he wasn't able to get quite there in time. He tried to go full out and get there, but it looks like he crashed awkwardly into the wall and might have hurt his leg a little bit. Darcy Kemper was the goalie for the Avalanche this past year as well. He is a free agent. Jake Ottinger, the goalie for the Stars, he was an absolute stud in the postseason. Had the best save percentage before the Stars were eliminated. Oh, hey, Kent. Thanks for joining us again. Did you hear Martin Perez pitched last night? Then after the game, got engaged, and then today was selected to his first All-Star game. Crazy 24 hours for the guy. Yeah, that would be a little crazy. That's kind of what I was alluding to earlier during the All-Star review anyway. Martin Perez made it for the first time. I do follow the Rangers a little bit more closely as I'm, a Ranger fan. But Martin Perez made his first All-Star game, played for the Boston Red Sox last year, as did Garrett Richards. Both signed with free agent deals with the Texas Rangers. Martin Perez, though, 1 year, $4 million, definitely outplayed that contract. He got knocked around in the fourth inning, and last night anyway, and gave up 6 runs. After that inning, normally before when Martin Perez was on the Rangers, he'd have an emotional blow-up, wouldn't be able to go back out there. This time he kind of put his head down, said, I'm getting through 6, and got through 5. His manager came over to him. He waved him off and said, no, I'm getting you 6, and he got through 6 innings. And even after giving up a 6-run fourth inning, just shows the emotional maturity of just playing more baseball. Martin Perez finally stepping up into his own. That pitch very high, 3-2 now to Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton was the one who hit that 2-run home run back in the first. But after the game last night, Martin Perez went out and got engaged. Yes, she said yes. And then today, his first All-Star selection nod. So great 24 hours to be Martin Perez. Hard hit ball, but right at Xander Bogaerts. That looked like it knocked him down. It was hit so hard. 110 miles an hour off the bat. Ouch. That ball is bruised. And Xander Bogaerts is that ball is right at his face too. He's thanking his lucky stars right now. He went, wow. What a smash by Stanton. He wasn't even looking when he caught that ball. He just threw up his hands in self-defense. Wow. Sometimes you live right, sometimes you don't. Both times, Giancarlo Stanton absolutely hammered that ball. 2 balls he's put in play today, a total of 224 miles per hour. Josh Donaldson, who worked a full count last time, is up there again. Really making Pivetta work today. Swing and a miss. Looks like he might have foul tipped it just a hair. Patrice Bergeron is a free agent as well in the NHL. Longtime Boston Bruin. Does he go back to Boston or does he retire is the question. Claude Giroux, I mentioned in the earlier live, is also a free agent this year. The Panthers are not expected to be able to re-sign him. Patrick Line is a free agent, or is a restricted free agent anyway, for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He was played a little bit better after the trade to Columbus this year. Evander Kane, who had several off-the-ice concerns anyway, but performed really well next to Connor McDavid, is also a free agent. In my opinion, John Klingberg is being slept on by too many teams. It's not often you get a talented offensive defenseman like this to hit the free agent market. And he was definitely the best rear guard the Stars had this year. Sorry, Miro Heiskanen. Klingberg did play a lot better this year. Heiskanen finding a little bit of difficulty in years 2 and 3 right now. Phil Kessel's a free agent again. Do not expect him to go back to Arizona. He wants to win. So those are some of the names you can look for during our NHL free agency frenzy. So make sure you join us early. Ooh, Donaldson spits on that one, and it's 1-2 now. That one was just a little bit below the zone. A little bit below the zone. Pivetta set. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. A nice curveball there. Donaldson unable to come up with it. And there are 2 away. That's Pivetta's 4th strikeout of the night. Looks like he might be getting his feet back under him. Red Sox and Yankees are always close, competitive games. Whether or not they're both good teams or not, they're always competitive. That's what happens when you have rivalries. You might have a team that's 100 wins better than the other, but it don't matter when those two teams play. Carpenter, a big swing and a miss on that one. 0-1. He did work a walk in the in the second. That's where Pivetta really got into trouble last inning. Rizzo on second right now. The pitch. Another fastball. Carpenter unable to make contact, and it's 0-2. Pivetta looking for the first shutdown inning of the day. Chases that one, yes, but fouls that one back behind home plate. Pivetta, the highest use of the upper third of the strike zone in the majors. Nestor Cortez of the Yankees is 3rd on that list. They do operate high in that zone, so you're going to get a lot of fly balls. Pivetta set. And the pitch to Carpenter. Foul tip down the first base line, and it's still 0-2. Carpenter is staying alive here. Carpenter with the heavy mustache all the way across. The pitch by Pivetta. That pitch is up at the top of the zone, driven deep to right center field, going back. Bradley Jr. unable to get there. That's a 2-run home run by Matt Carpenter. Pivetta unable to escape the third without any damage. Wow. 98 miles an hour off the bat, 390 feet. You remember at the beginning of the broadcast, I told you Matt Carpenter's hitting .440 over the last 7 games? Well, he's got a walk tonight and scored a run, and now a 2-run home run. And you remember how I just thought Nick Pivetta might finally be getting a handle on things? Not so fast. You see the eyes of Matt Carpenter? They were about this big around when he saw that pitch and just cranked that thing into the bullpen. Bradley Jr., again, a hard hit with his leg into the wall. If I'm the Red Sox, I'm checking him out at some point in between innings, making sure he's all right. He's had a couple of hard hits into that wall. Swing and a miss by Aaron Hicks there. Hicks is on a very team-friendly deal, at least team-friendly for the Yankees anyway. Swing and a miss, 0-2 now. Pivetta in front. Taking over that center field role again for the Yankees. Came over from the Twins a few years back. He never played like this for the Twins, though, that's for sure. Before the injury, he was much better, but still kind of working his way back offensively. That's strike three. A nice curveball there by Pivetta to end the inning, but not before a two-run home run by Matt Carpenter, and the Yankees are on top 6-2. 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Red Sox. Ugh. And the Bronx Bombers do it again. Wow. It's just impressive the way the Yankees have been able to knock the cover off the ball this year. Of course, you got a fly ball pitcher in there because he likes to work at the top of the zone. It's a really tough thing to watch if you're a Red Sox fan watching things like that. But 6-2 now as we go to the bottom half of the third, see if the Red Sox can return the favor. Check in on that Dodger game, see if it's still going. Looks like it might finally be over. And yes, the Dodgers did win 11-9. Cubs had an 8-3 lead in that game early on, but unable to hold it. And the Dodgers are able to get the victory. A lot of good baseball today, a lot of close games. This is the third game of our triple-header. We watched the Angels and Orioles to start the day. Angels jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but ended up losing 9-5. Orioles winning their 8th straight game, their first time having an 8-game win streak since 2005. In our second game, we watched the finale of the 3-game series between the Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers. Twins avoided the sweep anyway, and were able to get the 6-5 victory in Arlington. And now we get the nightcap of Sunday Night Baseball, the Yankees versus the Red Sox. Looks like a Derek Jeter documentary is coming our way in about a week. All-star starters were named today and reserves as well. A lot of first-timers on both the AL and NL roster. Contreras brothers are both going to start in the NL. Aaron Judge, of course, Mike Trout in the American League, as you might expect. Pitch up and in. Dahlbeck pops it up. Coming in is Aaron Judge and makes the catch. Good play for Aaron Judge there. Rizzo, LeMahieu, and Judge all converged pretty much at the same time, but of course, Judge, the bigger, taller player, able to have the easier run at it coming in from the outfield, and there is one away. 36 pitches so far on the evening for Tyone. And just as you might expect, anything with Aaron Judge in it, we get to see a replay. You guys tell me, do you think Aaron Judge is still a Yankee next year? Do you think they get him on a massive deal? Do you think they just give him a short-term, big money deal just to kind of keep the long-term money under control? What kind of contract do you think he signs? Or do you think he leaves and goes to San Francisco, the Dodgers, the Rangers? Pivetta looks hot, goes down the tunnel. Looks like he may have been told that's it for him today. 2-0 now the count to Jarren Duran. Hitting .287, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and an .800 OPS. That pitch is right on the outside corner, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 2-1. You guys tell me, is Aaron Judge going to be a Yankee next year? Yes, no? That pitch hit hard by Durant out towards the garage door in center, but Hicks is able to track it down, and there is 2 away. Vasquez digging back in. His second at bat of the day. Billy Crystal still on the broadcast with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez. At 94-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, taken all the way by Vasquez. Become a little bit better of a hitter over the last year. 2 years, really. The pitch by Taillon. Fouled off, and it's quickly 0-2. That one misses well outside and in the dirt. 1-2. Another one in the dirt outside the zone, and it's 2-2 now. Vasquez able to lay off those breaking balls. Red Sox with some work to do now, 6-4, or excuse me, 6-2 anyway. Vasquez digs back in. Taillon set and the delivery. That one misses the zone. Or hold on. TV's still showing a replay of that last pitch for some reason. My bad. Now this 2-2 pitch. Taillon set. And the pitch. Right down the middle, a hanging curveball there. Hammered over the green monster. That was crushed. 6-3. And yet again, the Red Sox cut that deficit down by the Yankees. 98-mile-an-hour home run, 379 feet. Towering shot to left. Of course, with that green monster, you got to get that ball up if you're going to get it out. No problem there for Vasquez. As J.D. Martinez takes ball 1 low. Nice piece of hitting by Vasquez there. Keeping the Red Sox within reach. Crushed it off the light stanchion out there. Might have dented one of the poles up there, honestly. That ball was hit hard. Fouled off there by Martinez, and it's 1-1. Martinez hitting .312 on the year, 0 for 1 on the day. That pitch is a little bit low, and it's 2-1. As they show more replays of the home run there. I really might have dented some of that metal. Home run in 29 out of 30 parks. If Martinez does reach, Xander Bogaerts would be next. Martinez, though, in the longest home run drought of his career, at least since 2014 anyway. That's a low pitch call to strike there. Taillon got a very nice call. It's now 2-2. That ball is a good inch or two below the zone. and especially with MLB trying to encourage the higher strike calls and avoid those kinds of things. That did not look pretty. Swing and a miss this time by Martinez as that ball is down as well. And that's the end of the inning. But Vasquez keeps the Red Sox within reach, hits the home run out to left, and it's 6-3 our score. Yankees 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Red Sox 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors as we go to the top of the fourth. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember to hit that subscribe button. It really does help. Appreciate you guys very much. We try to do a bunch of live baseball games throughout the year. When NFL season gets started, we'll try to do some lives during training camp, maybe even a preseason game or two, but definitely during the season. And then NBA season kicks off. We'll start some of those live streams. NHL Free Agency starts in a couple of days anyway. We'll do a live stream during that. Live stream where all your favorite players go, who your favorite team is going to sign. And then, of course, when the season kicks off, we'll try to live stream some of those as well. You can look back at a lot of the videos we've done. We've done a few basketball games on there. Lots of baseball over the past month. Finally got our new studio up and running about, 2 weeks ago, and really put out a lot more content since then. But we're going to try to at least stick to 5 live streams a week minimum. We're up to 3 already today, so try to get some more this week if we can. You guys really responded to our earlier games, so we might do some more if y'all keep showing up like you have. I think at one time earlier today we had 34 people on our live stream in like the 3rd inning of the Angels and Orioles game. It was crazy. I was not expecting that. That was a healthy turnout. Like, this is the Red Sox and Yankees. You'd think a lot more people tune in for this one. We're at 10 right now. Angels and Orioles at 11 o'clock in the morning Central Time, 34. Go figure. So tell your Yankee and Red Sox fans, get on here and support their team. You really going to let the Orioles and Red Sox beat you? But anytime we post a new video, you can follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN and stay up to date on all the latest from around the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. Trevino will be up first, followed by Kiner-Falefa and LeMahieu. First pitch by Pivetta. Looks like they actually did bring him out here for the 4th. A little bit surprised by that. He looked like he was not handling his emotions well during the last half inning, storming off down the tunnel. That pitch was a ball. Trevino fouls that one off, and it's 1-1. They're speaking with Alex Verdugo, the hero from last night's game. And the pitch. Another one fouled back by Trevino. And it's 1-2. Trevino foul tips that one and stays alive. Pivetta trying to work a scoreless inning for the first time tonight. Giving up 2 in every inning so far. I'm still very surprised that they decided to go ahead and bring him out here for the 4th. The pitch pops straight up in the air. Vasquez ditches the mask, but that pitch is going to get, or that ball is going to get out of play behind the third base dugout. Still 1-2. Trevino again going to the All-Star game for the first time in his career. Very happy for him. Followed his career early on when he was still at single A anyway, after the Rangers made the trade of Jorge Alfaro in the Cole Hamels deal. They had Trevino in the minors, of course. That gave them comfort to be able to do so. And then he finally made his major league debut. That ball is also foul. Oh, that's a fair ball off the umpire. Looks like it hit him in the side. Ouch. That's going to be a base hit for Trevino. That might be one of the hardest hit balls he's hit. Umpire unable to get out of the way on that one. Looks like he took it right in the side. The umpire is wincing in pain anyway. Ouch. Yep, looks like it might have caught just a touch of the chalk. Either way, anyway, IKF is up there. Takes a ball in the dirt, low and away, and it's 1-0. Pivetta already up to 82 pitches. The pitch. Another ball up high, 2-0 now. Top of the lineup due up. But as I was saying, Trevino at the time was a single A catcher, and they thought they were trading away their starting catcher for the next several years in Jorge Alfaro. Things didn't work out in Philly for Alfaro. He was moved on to the Marlins and now to the Padres. Still in the bigs, though. Cole Hamels' move, of course, was meant to keep the Rangers in contention for several more years. It did keep them in contention for about a year or two. However, at the end of that deal, they ended up flipping him for prospects as well. But any year during the minors and any year during the majors up until this one, there was nowhere near this level of offensive production at all. Nice pitch there by Pivetta. 3-1 now. IKF very patient, waiting for his pitch. Lifted to deep right field. Bradley Jr. going back. This time does have room, makes the catch, throws it back towards first, and the ball gets away. Cordero unable to make the play, but it looks like Trevino might have been back in time anyway. Still 6-3. As I mentioned, doesn't matter if you're 15 games up on the other team or 15 games down. When you're rivals, it doesn't matter your record. Any team can win any game in a rivalry. That's why it's called a rivalry. Looking at the replay, if he makes that catch right there, Frenchie Cordero, that's probably an out on second look anyway. The ball doesn't get quite far enough away for Trevino to be able to get up and go to second, though. LeMahieu up there for the third time in 4 innings. That one misses low. LeMahieu 0 for 2 on the day so far today. You got to wonder how much longer they're going to allow Pivetta to go. He's not inducing weak contact. He's missing the strike zone a lot. He's already given up 6 runs. How much longer are you willing to gamble with Pivetta? Nice curveball there, bends in for a strike. LeMahieu now even 1-1. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on the next live we do. Nice grounder right back through the box and into center field. Trevino will stop at second there. And it's now 2 on with 1 out here in the 4th. And Pivetta glares over at his bench, expecting to see somebody coming out of there, but hoping against hope that there won't be. Instead, it looks like it will be it for Pivetta. I was wondering how much longer they'd let him go. And the call to the bullpen. And it looks like they are going to make a change here. Caleb Ort coming in. Looks like he's making his debut this season right now. So let's see if the Red Sox can get something out of Ort, get him a few innings, or if the Yankees are just going to completely run away and hide with this one. Aaron Judge is up. What a place to come in for Ort here. Aaron Judge has 30 home runs on the year. Nothing like being a rookie coming in, even if it is a 30-year-old rookie, Caleb Ort, or making a season debut anyway, to come in and face possibly the MVP in the American League, your first hitter of the year. Good luck, buddy. But hey, it's the fourth inning. You got to get something out of somebody. Why not Caleb Ort, I suppose? While we wait for Ort to get ready and get out of commercial break anyway, just wanted to let you know that later on this week we will have a live again about NHL Free Agency starting around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And be sure to mark your calendar, tune in. If you're at work, we'll keep you updated on your favorite team, who they're going after, who they end up signing, the contract details. One advantage to NHL Free Agency versus any other sport is that most of their transactions literally happen in one day. Now, there's a few stragglers, of course, that want to tour the facility and that kind of thing. They take a couple of days, but for the most part, by and large, all of the big free agents and all the medium and even small, lower-level free agents all sign within that 24-hour period. Ort is in there. Works a strike in there to Aaron Judge, and it's 0-1. Right at the bottom of the zone. Another slider in there, fouled off by Aaron Judge. Down the first base line anyway. And it's quickly 0-2. Judge is 1 for 2 on the day so far. And the pitch. Popped up right center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. ranging in and makes the catch. Bluffs the throw to third. And there are 2 away. Anthony Rizzo due up next. He's hitting .228 on the year, 22 home runs, and .854 OPS. Again, no Joey Gallo in the lineup today. He's hitting .166 on the year, and again, I fully expect him to be traded away by the deadline. 1, to be able to free up space, and 2, just things have not worked out in New York. They need something to change. He needs a change of scenery. Things have not gone nearly as well as they have in Texas for him. Maybe a return to Texas is in the cards for Joey Gallo. Ball 1 way up and outside to Rizzo there. That's ball 2. That one almost went to the backstop on both of those. Hasn't been close on either of them. That one, the outside edge of the zone, fouled away by Rizzo, and it's 2-1. In case you're wondering, Red Sox-Yankee games do indeed run longer. We're already at an hour 40, just about anyway, at least for the stream. The game started probably about 8 minutes into the stream, maybe 7. Already over an hour and a half into the game. We're in the top of the 4th inning. So buckle in. It's going to be a long one. Rizzo fouls off that one, and it's 2-2. Should he reach Giancarlo Stanton is on deck and has absolutely obliterated the ball both times he's been up. Looks like he might be returning to his MVP form that he was in the National League. He's hitting .234 on the year so far. But he can definitely carry an offense for an extended period of time, as we saw with the Marlins. And yes, the sun is setting, so I'll slide back a little bit so you don't have all that glare on me. The pitch popped up down the left field line. Out goes Dahlbuck, makes the catch after twisting back, and that's the third out of the inning. Nice piece of pitching by Caleb Ort. Comes in and gets both Judge and Rizzo. Yankees lead it 6-3. Yankees 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Red Sox 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors. That's the first scoreless inning put up by Red Sox pitching. Thank you again for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. We cover the NBA, MLB, NFL, and NHL. Cover all of the teams in all those leagues. We're not just front runners. We're not going to sit down and give you Lakers news every day or Cowboys news every day. Eventually, I'd like to get to the point where I can do news on every team every single day. But we cover every team whenever the news breaks for whatever team it is as often as we possibly can. But I still have to work a 9-to-5 job, so the sooner I get to 1,000 subscribers on this app, the sooner I can give y'all better content, more content, and diversified content, and be able to create a page for every single one of those teams. It'll be a lot of work, but I'm more than willing to do it. Just need the ability to make a living out of it if I'm able to. It's the ultimate goal anyway for me. A friend of mine started a tech YouTube page several years ago, and he finally convinced me to try it and give it a chance, see if I could do it. My dream job was always to be a general manager of a sports team, but I'm, at least mildly realistic. I realize that's never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. And so thought this would be a nice medium starting point, see how things go. And so far, y'all have responded really well. Whenever one of y'all sends a message that, hey, appreciate the content. Hey, thanks for the live, stuff like that. I really appreciate it. And of course, whenever I see a new subscriber, whenever I gain one, literally me and my lady in wig do like a little heel click in celebration. We appreciate every single one of them that we do get. So if you did subscribe today, we've gained several subscribers today. Suffice to say, we are very happy. So thank you for joining us. Looks like we're back here for the bottom of the fourth. Red Sox trying to get back in it. Ball one there to Xander Bogaerts. Tyone out here for his fourth inning of work. Struck out 2 so far today. That one's right down the middle, but fouled away by Xander Bogaerts. 52 pitches so far. And the pitch. Bogaerts grounds it on the left side of second base anyway. And the second baseman on that shortstop side anyway flips on to first, and Bogaerts is retired, 1 away. Verdugo is up. Verdugo hitting .259 on the year, a .681 OPS with 6 home runs. He is your left fielder today. 1-0 the count. So that one missed way high. 95-mile-an-hour fastball there. Verdugo worked a walk in the first. Welcome, Gina. Got some Yankee fans in here. 1-1 the count now to Verdugo. That one misses well outside, 95 miles an hour there. 2-1. No, I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Ranger fan by trade anyway, but also a little bit of a Twins fan. But we do cover all the teams around the league: Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Orioles, you name it, we cover it. Braves, Mets, Dodgers, A's, Giants, Rangers, Diamondbacks, Rockies. Not just MLB, we cover the NFL, NBA, and the NHL. I don't try to hide my fandom, though, like some of the broadcasters do, and then say, oh, no, I'm not really a fan. Yes, you are. We all realize that most of the media is Dallas Cowboys fans, and they just don't like owning up to it. Off the fist there of Verdugo, and he's able to fight it into center. Nice piece of hitting by Verdugo there. As they show video on from the Yankees of when they had let their players know that they had made the All-Star team. As a former Ranger, Trevino will always hold a special place to me. I'm very excited for what he's doing with the Yankees. No ill will towards the man. I mean, he just didn't play this well at any point with the Rangers, and him to have this kind of success with the Yankees, very happy for him. First pitch is fouled off by Story there. Down 0-1. 6-3 our score here in the bottom of the fourth. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone, and it's quickly 0-2 to Trevor Story. Looks like Tyone reached back for a little extra on that one, got it up to 96. Trevor Story did score on that home run anyway. Oh and 2. The pitch by Tyone. Very, very high. And it's 1-2. But thank you guys for joining us. Hit that subscribe, Gina, if you haven't already. If you like our content, try to bring you some live action whenever we possibly can. I know a lot of fans around Major League Baseball are out of market for their favorite team, and so they don't get to watch their team very often. They don't get to listen to the radio broadcast pretty much at all. So we try to do a bunch of lives, watch parties for y'all, bring y'all the game. Story off the end of the bat, out to center, dropped. That's dropped by Hicks. I don't know if they're going to call that an out. I don't know what they're going to call this. Hicks does make the catch and then drops it on the transfer, so that's what I guess they're going to call. So yes, Story is out. First pitch to Cordero, hit a home run back in the second. At least keep the Red Sox within touch. It's 0-1 to Cordero. That pitch is well up in the zone, but a swing and a miss up at the eyes anyway of Cordero. And it's 0-2. Cordero trying to make this a one-run ball game. I mean, it looks like he's swinging a tree trunk right now up there. He's not a small fella either. 253 batting average, 4 home runs, and 24 RBIs. 741 OPS so far for Cordero this year. The pitch. Eventually. Come on now. And you wonder why Yankee teams take so long with the Red Sox. That one's a ball up high. Cordero able to lay off, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss by Cordero, and he goes down swinging. 96-mile-an-hour fastball at the top of the zone. Cordero probably would have been struck out on that pitch anyway, so just wasn't able to catch up to it. Tyone reaches back for a little extra. Yankees will have Stanton, Donaldson, and Carpenter due up. Stanton and Carpenter with home runs already in today's game. Let us know what your favorite team is, who you're watching for. Maybe we can make some content about your team, focus on that a little bit more. Only NFL news right now is that Baker Mayfield was finally traded to the Carolina Panthers. That move happening earlier this week. He gave up $3.5 million of his salary, and the Panthers and Browns both agreed to split the cost of his contract, with a conditional 5th-round pick going to the Browns in return. But he will compete for the starting job against Sam Darnold once the season begins. Just waiting for the top of the 5th to get underway in Boston. In the NBA, Kevin Durant, just waiting for his trade to finally happen. Seems to have the entire NBA offseason on hold right now as we wait for a resolution to that. The Brooklyn Nets are asking for $1.5 million pieces in return. They asked the Minnesota Timberwolves for the entire package they gave up for Rudy Gobert, plus Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. If that price stays that high, there's no way Kevin Durant gets traded to any team. No team is going to be willing to take on a 34-year-old NBA player, no matter how good he is, when they can't even build anything around that. As they show clips for the MLB draft coming up here next weekend, Drew Jones is expected to be the top pick. But as we've seen in the past, teams are willing to pass on the top player in the draft if they can split the money and get a really good player in that second pick as well. Kind of go after it a little bit differently than maybe conventional drafts would. That's one reason why MLB draft is a little bit different than other drafts. Stanton takes a strike there on the outside corner. Stanton, with his start in the outfield in the All-Star game, joins a list of 7 other MLB players to ever be an All-Star starter in both leagues. Frank Robinson, Dave Winfield, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Jason Bay, Mookie Betts, and Giancarlo Stanton. Does not happen often. Since the 22nd of May, though, he's got 17 hits. 11 of them have gone for home runs. Swing and a miss. Caleb Ord out there for his second inning of work. 1-2 now. This Sunday we'll probably do some lives during on Sunday anyway. We try to do at least a couple of lives on Sundays, and then we'll try to kick into the MLB draft that evening as well. All-Star festivities, maybe the Home Run Derby as well. Stanton fouls that pitch above the zone away, and it's still 1-2. Look at that bat speed on Giancarlo Stanton. Just don't see that from a lot of players. The first home run we saw from him today was 114 miles an hour off the bat. The second at bat, he absolutely nailed the ball right to Xander Bogaerts. That absolutely knocked him over, but he caught it. He basically did this to kind of keep it from hitting his face, and it somehow landed in his glove when he wasn't looking, and he still caught it. It's now 2-2 after that ball hot. Stanton rifles one into center, and this one will drop in front of the center fielder Durant. Stanton with his second hit of the day. This one with the slowest by far exit velocity at 78 miles an hour. I'm sure Durant would much rather have that 78 miles an hour than 114 straight at him. That ball is a little low to Donaldson. Donaldson willing to work the count, as are all the Yankees. They seem to do that every year, work that count really well. That's a big part of the Yankee success over the past 15, 20 years. Their patience at the plate. Ort's come in out of the bullpen and throwing strikes today, though. But misses there with a ball to Donaldson, and it's 1-0. Donaldson has struck out both times after working the count full. Ort's 17th pitch so far today in the dirt again, and it's 2-0. Brings it up at the top of the zone. Fastball, 96 miles an hour, swinging and a miss by Donaldson, and it's 2-1. Looks like Ort's trying to reach back for a little bit more velocity now. Might be wearing down. I mean, it is Yankees, Red Sox. The Yankees, 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Red Sox, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Another strike at the top of the zone, 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us up to 16. I'm still surprised the Angels and Orioles beat you guys so far anyway. They're at the height of the third, around the second and third inning. We had 34 Angels and Orioles viewers. Come on, Red Sox and Yankee fans, we can beat that. Especially on a Sunday night baseball game when that's the only game on the schedule. Pop up there by Donaldson, and he is retired for the first out of the inning. Do we have any Red Sox fans out there watching us right now, or is it just Yankees? I know y'all ain't silent. They're showing the highlight of Chris Sale at his rehab start in Rochester anyway, where he tore apart the locker room and then paid for dinner for everybody on the team basically afterward, from what I heard. It's kind of an apology. Mentioned that earlier in the telecast. That pitch looked to be a little outside, but called a strike there by the home plate umpire. 0-1 to Carpenter. Hitting .440 over the last week. That average has gone up since then with a home run today and a walk. That pitch is inside, and it's 1-1. No Red Sox fans, I guess, out there. Just a Yankees chat group. He's hitting .339 on the year, 10 home runs now. That one in the dirt, and it's 2-1. Of his 21 hits this year, Carpenter has hit 10 home runs. That ball misses well outside, and it's 3-1 now to Matt Carpenter. He worked a walk back in the second. More than willing to work a walk here by the looks of it. He has a 1,317 OPS. Ouch. Knocking the cover off the ball. The 3-1 pitch. Sets up right down the middle. A bunt right in front of home plate. They are unable to make a play as they cannot field the ball as it goes in between the pitcher and home plate, and Carpenter sneaks in a base hit. I believe this is probably going to go as an error, though, on Vasquez. He wasn't able to stick a fork in it. But Carpenter reaches, and around we go. Kind of surprised him. Honestly, Carpenter was out of the baseline when he was running up the base, or running up to first base. Pitching coach comes out to settle down Ort. Tell him, hey, you're playing the Yankees. You have a 3-run deficit. Just don't worry about that. Throw strikes. Ball one here to Aaron Hicks. Way up high. So much for throwing strikes. That's the first error of the game. That'll go on Christian Vasquez. Usually a very reliable catcher back there, but this time does not get it done. Remember to hit that follow button on Twitter as well. That way you can stay updated whenever we do post a new video, whenever we go live. I know YouTube caps it, I believe, at 3 notifications a day, but we put out a lot of content. And then like today, we've done 3 live games today. We did the Angels and Orioles, Twins and Rangers, and now we're doing the Yankees Red Sox. Make sure you stay updated with all the latest from your favorite team. Nice fastball there right down Broadway. 1-1 that count now to Hicks. Appreciate you guys for hitting that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. In and out and in and out and in and out of the box is Aaron Hicks. Ground ball to first, flipped over to second, the out there, back to first, out there. Nice double play. And looks like Ort is out of the inning. To the bottom of the 5th we go. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Yanks. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. Through 4.5. It's all Yankees so far. The Red Sox will have Jackie Bradley Jr. due up first, followed by Bobby Dahlbach and Jaron Durant. Should he reach, Vasquez will get an opportunity to put that error behind him. But thank you guys for joining us. Again, Wednesday we will be having a live going over NHL Free Agency, so set your calendars. We'll be starting around 9, 10 o'clock. As soon as I get done with my event is when I'll be starting my stream the second I get back. So that way we don't miss any of the transactions that'll start. I believe it starts, NHL Free Agency starts at 11 Eastern in the morning, maybe 10. I can't remember. I'll have to look. But anyway, it's be right around there. Earlier in the morning, we'll probably see a few trades for the rights of different players as well. So just because free agency is set to begin at that time does not mean we're not going to have some transactions beforehand. As I mentioned, live in the Texas, Dallas sort of area anyway. And so Dallas Stars are my team. So I do have a little bit more information on a couple of the free agents there. Apparently, Jake Ottinger, the goalie for the Dallas Stars, there's been whispers that other teams might actually offer him a contract, which is a big no-no from other teams anyway, mainly because they like to keep the cost of their RFAs down. Over the last couple of years, we've seen RFA contracts be extended between the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes, trading back offer sheets on their RFAs, and it seems like that might happen to Jake Ottinger, as everybody sees him as a blossoming star at the goalie position. So maybe a team will go out there and be willing to offer him an 8-figure deal. If they do, that'll give the Stars pause to at least re-sign him, as they would get some massive draft capital back and some salary space in order to sign more additional players. So maybe something like that could happen, but I fully expect Ottinger to be back in Dallas next year. The one player to keep your eye out on moving to a different team is going to be John Klingberg. Offensive defenseman for the Stars, played very well for them this year, especially when Miro Heiskanen went down due to injury. And he's, I believe, a 30-year-old defenseman, 29, right around there anyway. But he hits free agency for his last chance to really cash in. He was hoping for an 8-year, $60+ million deal with the Stars, but just wasn't able to come to an agreement with the team. And so he's moving on elsewhere. Bradley Jr. fouls that one off, 0-1. Taillon back out there for the 5th. 3 strikeouts on the day so far for him, up to 70 pitches now on the day. As that one misses high. 69 pitches, almost 70. 1-1. Red Sox hoping to climb back into this one, but thank you guys for joining us. That one misses outside. 2-1 now the count. Apparently, we got a bunch of Yankees fans. I've been asking to see if we had any Red Sox fans out there, but haven't had anybody mention that they're a Red Sox fan out there. If you want to join our lives in the future, make sure you just hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter so you can stay updated when we do go live. 3-1 now the count to Bradley Jr. The set by Taillon and the pitch. Hammered by Bradley Jr. out into right field. Cutting it off, though, before it gets to the wall is Aaron Judge. Nice play there, holding Bradley Jr. to a single. Good start here for the Red Sox, hoping to make it a little bit closer of a game. And I guess we still have nothing but Yankees fans. The news out of the Yankees, of course, for the trade deadline is that Joey Gallo is expected to be moved before the deadline, and rightfully so, I might imagine. He's hitting 166 on the year, just has not played well, hasn't worked well in New York, and maybe getting out of the spotlight might help him. He played well in Texas, maybe a team that's familiar with him. The Padres, the Rangers are teams that have been interested and even linked to him as soon as today, as far as having conversations regarding Joey Gallo. Andrew Benintendi's also been mentioned as a player that might be of interest to the Yankees, but they're not willing to give up the prospect capital in order to get him right now. Apparently, all they want right now for the Royals is a good prospect and some lower-level lottery tickets, possibly in return. Prospects are so valuable in the game right now. That ball is low there. Dahlbuck takes it and evens the count at 1. Other news out of the Yankees, of course, is the Luis Castillo move that I believe that they're going to end up making around the deadline. They were linked to him before the season began anyway for the lockout. The Reds were not willing to move him yet, or at least for the price that was being offered. Dahlbuck goes around, and it's 1-2 on that pitch, low and away. But I believe the Yankees, seeing how good this team is performing at the plate, with as much young pitching as they have, that's performing really well, don't get me wrong, but getting another horse at the top of that rotation to go with Garropolo would go a long way to solidifying their chances in the postseason. That pitch is well high up at the eyes of Dahlbuck, and it's 2-2. Other trade talk that's out there, Jose Quintana of the Pirates is another starter that's expected to be on the move after a bounce-back year this year with Pittsburgh. I expect him to be one of the last names moved right before the deadline. Try to get the best price they possibly can for him. The 2-2 to Dahlbuck. He's hitting .211 this year, .629 OPS with 6 home runs. They're showing some of the biggest contracts in Major League history. Mookie Betts got 12 at .365, Mike Trout 12 at .426. Aaron Judge probably breaks that. A little tapper again in front of the catcher anyway. This time Trevino does make the play, whereas Vasquez was unable to. And Jackie Bradley Jr. moves on to second base. Dahlbeck is retired at first on the put-out by Trevino. Six to 3 our score at the fifth. Yankees 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Red Sox 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Red Sox. Durant is in there. That's a ball in the dirt, ball 1. 88-mile-an-hour changeup. We watched the Orioles game versus the LA Angels anyway, and I was mentioning how the Angels have been the worst team in baseball since May 25th. They're now 11-32, I believe, since then, and they have a number of pieces that they could move. Well, not a number, a couple of them anyway. Max Stassi could get you a piece for a backup catcher around the deadline. They could trade a guy like Raisel Iglesias, maybe one of their more successful starters if they want. But I believe they should go ahead and look into the possibility of trading a guy like Shohei Ohtani. He would be the best piece on the market. He would command the biggest prospect capital in probably history, honestly. Just his ability to be a dynamic force offensively, ace-level starting pitcher when he does take the mound. It's a very rare player, and he would demand a very rare trade package. Pretty much any of the top teams out there that are really looking to solidify their title chances would be the favorites to go after him. Dodgers, Astros, Yankees, teams like that. A chopper by Durant, flipped by Taillon on to first, and there are 2 away. Taillon up to 79 pitches now in the game. Bradley Jr. is able to get to third now. Red Sox trying to scratch across another run, keep it a little closer. Thank you guys for joining us. Got 16 of y'all, so if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that button. Remember to hit that alert button as well. That way you'll be notified when we do go live again. Follow us on Twitter. That way you'll be notified when we do put out a video about your favorite team. We cover the MLB, NHL, NBA, and the NFL. Swing and a miss by Vasquez. Nice slider there. Roger Clemens joining the broadcast for the K-Rod broadcast. He did not make the Hall of Fame in his final year of eligibility. Goes on to the Veterans Committee ballots. We'll see if he gets in that way. There's some out there that argue that he absolutely should never be allowed in the Hall because of the character clause. I am not one of those people. I do believe the character clause is very important, but it also is the Hall of Fame, people. It's meant to tell the history of the game. And the steroid era was an era in the game, and you can't really tell the story of baseball since then without it because of how much the game has changed as a result of it. Clemens probably the best pitcher of that era that received the biggest boosts, at least from an outside observer, because of steroids. Barry Bonds, some argue, was an all-star Hall of Fame type of talent before they claim he used steroids. And then he saw the summer of '98 where McGwire and Sosa going back-to-back, trading headlines in the paper, and he said, hey, where's my love? And that's where he claims to have began juicing then. Vasquez, this one pops up in the air, drifting out and off the wall. And Vasquez gets in there just barely before the tag, drives in another run. Vasquez makes up for the error of the last half. It's 6-4. Bradley Jr. scores from third easily. Didn't quite get it far enough to get over the monster, but just barely gets in there for the double. 2 for 3 is Vasquez. Hit the home run in the third. This one a double here in the fifth. Has certainly improved in his abilities as a hitter, as a catcher. That throw beat him into second base, but LeMahieu had to get the tag in there and couldn't quite get the tag in before Vasquez was able to touch second base. Mound visit here. It's now 6-4, Yankees in front. Appreciate all 13 of you guys for joining us. That ball is hit 350 feet off the green monster. Hit pretty low off the monster, a little bit more in the left center field gap than off the stand or off the light pole anyway. That was pretty much straight down the line in his second at bat of the day. JD Martinez is up there after the discussion on the mound. Tyone set. He's up to 83 pitches. Martinez hammers that one out to right center. Going, gone. Absolutely crushed by JD Martinez, and this game is all tied. 2-run home run there by JD Martinez. 6-6 is our score, and that's got to be it for Tyone. Lost a little bit of the ability to miss bats. 103 miles an hour off the bat. 392 feet out into the Red Sox bullpen. And Red Sox and Yankees, even though you're 15 games back, any team can win any game in a rivalry. They leave Tyone out there to face at least one more batter. Bogaerts takes ball one just off the plate outside. Martinez going the other way with that one. Finally breaks his homerless streak. Bullpen catcher out there catching it on the fly. Nice play there. Red Sox fans elated for Martinez, able to knock one out against the hated Yankees. We do have a Red Sox fan. Welcome to joining us, John Paul. Appreciate you. That's his first home run since June 14th. I knew we had a Red Sox fan out there. Knew you couldn't stay quiet forever. Chapman loosening out in the bullpen. Bogaerts fouls that one into the second deck down the first base line. 1-1. Needing some luck, huh, John Paul? Well, who knows? Keep it right here. Might keep you lucky. I don't know. Welcome in, King Sean. Need 2 more strikeouts. I don't think you're going to get it. I think even after this inning, there's a nice strike there on the outside corner of Bogaerts. Say he strikes out Bogaerts here, that gives you 1, but I think after this inning, he's done anyway. He's already at 87, about to be 88 pitches. I don't think you're getting there. Now, if it's a strikeout and then he still reaches on an error and the inning continues, maybe that way he gets 2 strikeouts, but I don't see him being able to get 2 actual outs. That one just off the outside corner, 2-2. So sorry, King Sean, I don't think that's going to happen, even if he does get him here. Yeah, I know. But at least we're getting an entertaining game. 6-6 in the bottom of the 5th. Base hit there by Bogaerts, and that's got to do it. Served the other way. Tyone taking the long walk around the mound, taking in the crowd, cheering against him. They still haven't made the move. They are checking the phones out there. Is he ready yet? Is he ready yet? Pickoff attempt over to first. Verdugo, the hero from last night. 1 for 1 on the day. Tyone up to 89 pitches. Things getting a little dicier here for the Yankees. Tyone through 4 2/3 has 3 strikeouts, but has allowed 6 runs to score. Yankees 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Red Sox 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Over his last 4 starts, he has allowed 6 earned, 3 earned, 5 earned, and now 6 earned tonight. That one off the plate as they allow him to face yet another hitter. I'm kind of surprised they're allowing him to face Verdugo. Maybe it's just taking that long for Aroldis to get ready. Welcome, Terry. Appreciate you. Off the end of the bat, Verdugo's. It will not drop as Judge is able to come running in and make the catch. But after 5, we're all square. It's a brand new ball game. Yankees 6, 9 hits, no errors. Red Sox 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. And rivalry game living up to its billing today. Pitching, unfortunately, nowhere to be found for either club. Yeah, the ghost runner rule, Manfred Man, whatever you want to call it. A lot of reporters out there are calling it the Manfred Man, as he likes to keep these extra inning games under control. So, yeah, they have that going this year. I mean, how did you not know Boston was going to play this hard? It's the Yankees versus the Red Sox. It's always a hard-fought game. Now, whether or not the Yankees are as good as the Red Sox, that's a different question. But rivalry games, it doesn't matter if you're a scrub or if you're an all-star like Aaron Judge. You're going to play like an all-star against your rival. It's just the way it goes. You were at the game, John Paul? Good. Been trying to get people to go out to games all day long. I went to the Twins and Rangers game yesterday myself. That was fantastic. I was seated second row up in the right field bleachers anyway, and had home runs hit on either side of me, and Byron Buxton hit one right towards us, and it went off the top of the wall. If he had hit it about another 6 feet back, it would have been a home run and right at me, so I would have had a chance at a home run ball. And then I was watching the game today. A home run ball went just to the right of where I was seated by a couple of seats, so just missed it by that much. But if you get a chance to go out and see live baseball, I highly encourage you to do so. Baseball is back, baby. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, hit it, and we'll give you as much live baseball as you can handle. Oh, yeah, the Twins did get Correa. He's having a great year so far for them. The first day he was there, apparently he went straight into the office of Rocco Baldelli, their manager, and said, this, and this are what we need to do to win. So what are we going to do to make it happen? That's what happens when you sign a great player. Correa is very motivated this year after getting snubbed as far as the big contract. He really wanted that contract that Corey Seager got, the 10 years, $325 million. And didn't get it. Got 3 years, 105 with opt-outs after the first and second year. Sawamura is in for the Red Sox. A strike one there. Trevino swinging and a miss on the second one. Excuse me, swinging and fouls it off, and it's 0-2 quickly. But Correa's played very well. Trevino is 2 for 2 today. A couple of singles, an RBI. 265 batting average, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs on the year, 757 OPS. Well outside on that slider, and it's 1-2. I agree. I hope he does well. I mean, I'm certainly not a fan of Carlos Correa. I'm a Ranger fan by trade anyway. But and yes, I was one of the fans booing him whenever he would come up to the plate yesterday. You could tell he was obviously affected by every single play Corey Seager made. He grounded out to Corey Seager, I think, twice today, and both times he was greatly affected by that. So, I mean, you could visibly see him roll into a double play either yesterday or today anyway. But he's just head down in defeat. The second Corey Seager hit that 3-run home run against the Twins, it was a little bit more than just, he hit a 3-run home run against my team. It was a little bit extra than that as Sawamura gets the strikeout there. But Corey Seager owns Carlos Correa, in my opinion, at this point. He's completely in his head. And Corey Seager's not one to really talk when he's on the baseball field. He just goes out there, does his job, and goes about his business. But he is completely messed with the mind of Carlos Correa. Strike at the top of the zone there to IKF, another former Ranger on this Yankee club. Hitting .270 on the year, no homers, 21 RBIs, and a .635 OPS. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that as well. I mean, Boston's, obviously it's in Boston, so of course there's going to be tons of Red Sox fans there. But as many times as they play and as how close the cities are to each other, I can kind of understand why there's a lot of Yankee fans. They are probably the #1 most rooted for fan base out there right now in Major League Baseball, so I understand that. Maybe the Cubs are also up there. When your team is nationally televised as much as they are, you gain a lot of fans around the country. IKF flies out to right there. Bradley Jr. makes an easy catch. MLB draft coming up this weekend anyway. Drew Jones expected to be the top pick. You going to watch the draft, John? Now, I don't live in the Northeast anyway, but I imagine you guys watch a lot more Oriole games than I do. Got a better feel for how their team likes to operate. Do you think they're actually going to go and split the money up between the top pick and their second-round pick like they have in the past, or do you think they're going to go and get the top overall talent this time in Drew Jones? I'm guessing you're probably not an Oriole fan by trade, but what are your thoughts on it? I think everybody wants pitching in the draft. The thing with this draft is there's not really any top pitching to be had in the draft. So most of that good pitching is going to be later or available later in the draft. So if your team is a winning team, say like the Yankees, that kind of team, should get some pretty good chances at starters that they might not have otherwise had at the top end of the draft. Should this class not, or had this class not been so good offensively? I think out of the top 10 picks, only one of them is expected to be a pitcher. It's now 1 and 2 to LeMahieu. Chapman's still loosening out there in the bullpen. What do you think? Drew Jones go #1 or not? LeMahieu rolls over that one and fights it off foul. Still 1 and 2. Red Sox looking to throw up yet another 0. They've allowed 2 runs in the first 3 innings, in each inning anyway. Have not allowed a run since. Red Sox had a 3-run bottom of the 5th. A lot of pitches over the past 3 days anyway for the bullpen for the Yankees. Aroldis Chapman has not been used, nor has Sears, so they are fresh. That one flied out to center. Durant right in front of the wall makes the catch. and that's the third out of the inning. I'm really not sure either. But I would take Drew Jones if I were them. It sounds like he might be a once-in-a-generation type of outfielder in this draft. And how can you not be when you have a father like Andrew Jones able to teach you instincts out in the field and ingrain it into you at a very early age? And his bat, you got the advantage of Andrew Jones's bat skills towards the end of his career as well. All that knowledge he picked up. Andrew Jones was a great defender early on in his career, great hitter towards the end. Maybe Drew Jones is the whole complete package for his entire career. How can you pass up on a chance at a player that good for that long with that type of dynamic talent? But the Orioles have done it before. We'll see if they do it again. To the bottom of the sixth we go. Will they bring in Chapman? I believe they will. It'll be Story, Cordero, and Bradley coming up for the Red Sox in the bottom of the sixth. Appreciate you guys for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Cannot tell you how much it means to us whenever I see one of you guys subscribe. I think we're at 326 last time I checked. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. I mean, I'd really like to do this a lot more often for you guys, provide you with a lot more content. And the more subscribers I get, the closer I get to being able to do something like that. Who's pitching? Sawamura was just pitching for the Red Sox. It is Chapman coming in for the Yankees. Yeah, Matt Holliday's kid. Jackson Holliday is also going to be a top 3 pick. He's expected to probably go number 2 overall. Matt Holliday, of course, the career Cardinal, played a lot with the Colorado Rockies and ended his career with the Yankees as well. But Tyone is done after 5. Gave up 6 runs, all of them earned. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Yanks. 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. Another program reminder, on Wednesday we'll be going doing pretty much a live from about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning as soon as my event is over, and going over NHL Free Agency. Most NHL Free Agency is done in one day, so keep your eyes peeled for your favorite team. Got a lot of people from New York and Boston. Will the Bruins sign anybody? Will the Rangers bring back their guys? Andrew Kopp's a free agent. Aroldis Chapman is out there. 21% strikeout rate. That's down for his career average. His walk rate is through the roof this year at 17%. Has not been able to command the strike zone much this year. That's why he is on here. First pitch. Right at the knees, 99-mile-an-hour fastball to Story, taking all the way. Story does have 15 home runs on the year. Red Sox fans hoping he gets a hold of one here. That one just off the plate inside at 100. Missing his spot by just about that much. Chapman's been known for that fastball for years now. Maybe players are finally gearing up for it every time he comes in and ready for it. The pitch by Chapman. Story pops it up. Medium right field and dropped. LeMahieu unable to make the play, kind of bending back. Chapman unhappy with that one, glares off into the distance, into the crowd. And Story is safe at first. I'm not sure if that'll go as an error or a hit. That was a tough play reaching back over his head, but he did overrun it. I don't know. They are calling it a single as at the moment anyway. Quick pickoff attempt there, and he is safe. See how Chapman deals with stress here. As I mentioned, a 17% walk rate this year, so keep an eye out for that. What do you think? Is Chapman going to get through this inning unscathed? Or is command issues going to be a problem again? And sorry, King Sean, I know you were hoping for Tyone to be able to get a couple of strikeouts there. Not going to happen today. His day is through. Ball one there to Cordero. Another pickoff attempt to first. Trying to keep the running game in check. For a guy who struggled with command this year, why is he focusing so much on the runner at first base? I understand it's a fast player. He has 10 stolen bases this season, is perfect on the year. 110 stolen bases in his career, but still, focus on the batter. You struggled with your command this year. Show Aaron Boone you care about the pit or the batter at the plate. You don't care about the runner on first, and record the out. A little bit of trash talk from there from John. One and one after that pitch called a strike. Took a little bit off of that one, trying to find the strike zone. 1-1. Chapman set and the pitch. Slider down low. 2-1. Cordero does have a home run on the day. Chapman set and the pitch. Fastball just beneath the knees, stares down the umpire at that one, wonders why that one wasn't called a strike. Rolls his eyes as he walks back to the mound. 3-1 now the count. I understand Aroldis Chapman's a big part of your bullpen if you're a Yankee fan, but this is getting ugly. I mean, you've seen players disagree with umpires before, but that's a little petulant. Nice slider there. Does find the zone, and it's 3-2 now. I don't know. Over the last couple of days, we've seen a couple of home runs off of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Corey Seager has a couple of them, 2 of the 3 anyway so far this year. So maybe with the summer, the bats are finally catching up to the fastball. Today, Seager hit another one off of a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, off of the glove of Celestino, the left fielder for the Twins, and over the fence. Kind of an oopsie play for the Twins there. That made it 6-5, but they were able to hold on for the victory. And that's a ball there. And Chapman walks Cordero. What a shock. More command issues. Looks like we might have a pinch hitter here. Yep, Rob Refsnyder, more of a platoon player, bounced around the league, had a little bit of time with the Rangers and Twins. I think he played for the White Sox at one point. Yankees as well, Rays. He's bounced around, I think. Those are the teams I think he's played for anyway. I can't remember off the top of my head, but Refsnyder is in there. Takes over for Jackie Bradley Jr. Dahlbach is on deck. Almost a balk there by Chapman. Looked like he started his motion and then kind of did a hop step off of it. I guess they're calling it not a balk for the moment, but runners on first and second with no outs. Chapman finds himself in hot water right now. Bullpen is already going for the Yanks. Albert Abreu, who is back with the Yankees after being traded in that Jose Trevino trade to begin the year, has since been traded and waived since then and re-signed by the Yanks. That's a ball below the zone to Ref Snyder, and it's 1-0. Yep. You talking about Corey Seager's homer last night? Nice pitch on the inside corner. Gets the call there. That pitch was a little bit off the plate, but gets the call. You talking about Corey Seager's home run, John? Or whose home run you talking about? Another pitch low and out of the zone, and it's 2-1. Oh, Ref Snyder's. Okay. I was wondering because the home run Seager hit absolutely got smacked. That 3-run home run to get the Rangers all the way back. Did not see the Ref Snyder one, though. Have to go back and check it out. Ref Snyder hitting .344 on the year. .968 OPS, 3 home runs on the year. One of those, obviously, last night. Chapman, 99 on the outside corner, fouled off by Ref Snyder. Yeah. He's been obliterating the ball lately. He's changed his approach, less of a contact hitter, more of a pure power hitter now. And it's taken a while for that swing to kind of take hold, but he's finally hitting for average again over the past 3 weeks. So he's finding kind of that happy medium between power and contact. A ball below the zone, and it's now 3-2 to Ref Snyder as he lays off that one. But you're a Red Sox fan, right? That is true. 3-2 to Ref Snyder. The crowd very much into it right now. And as you might expect, ball 4. With that, there's got to be a mound visit here, maybe even a pitching change. I got a question for you, John. Do you think the Red Sox, even with them being 15 games back of the Yankees, and as good as the Yankees start has been, do you think they should go out and acquire a piece? Especially when you consider that they have Xander Bogaerts' contract to worry about this offseason. What kind of prospect capital do you think they have to even move in a deal like that? Who would you like him to go after? Starter? I'd be very curious to see what the Red Sox are going to do. They never like to give up on a season, and when they're still able to compete against the Yankees like they are right now, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th, 6-6 our score. Aroldis Chapman already with a couple of walks in the inning. Shock to nobody. Bobby Dahlbeck is back in there. Hitting .210 on the year, a .627 OPS with 6 home runs. But you tell me, John, what would you like to see them do at the deadline? Got a few weeks left until the deadline. What do you see them doing? Quality starter? That's kind of what I was thinking. They do have some reinforcements on the way, so I'm not sure if they'll trade for it or if they'll just say, hey, we got starters coming back. We'll stand pat and call it good. In addition, by health is what some teams like to do when they do that kind of a thing. But what quality starter do you see them to go after? Somebody who's on a good year, on a cheap contract, like a Quintana. Maybe they go back and get Perez after they let him go to Texas last year, or this year anyway. 0-1 to Dahlbeck. That one's in the dirt, bounced in front of home plate. Nice block there by Trevino. Pass ball here, and it's a 7-6 game. Nice pick there. But would Jose Quintana or Perez be the guy you go after, or would you want to go for one of the big guys? Montas, Maley, Castillo, people like that. Which way do you like them to go? At the top of the zone, Chapman does not get the call on that one. You really want that one if you're Chapman. It's now 2-1. Still unable to record an out this inning. Yankee fans voicing their displeasure with that one. Time is called for again. Which way would you like to see him go? Quintana and Perez, or more of the Castillo-Montas route? Although I don't really put Perez in that category anymore. Perez is an all-star. Swing and a miss in the dirt by Dalbec. He's bailing out Chapman. I don't understand why his bat is literally not glued to his shoulder on that. I mean, it's not a close pitch. It's not even a deception pitch. It's a fastball that's just missing location. Bigger guy, someone reliable, not injury prone. I agree with you there. They've had issues with injuries in that rotation, and Sale and Eovaldi are not guaranteed to be. Wow. Dalbec chases again. I guess that's why he's hitting 210 this year, now 209. But the strikeout there by Chapman. And will we see a pitching change here? We'll see. But Castillo would be nice. I'm not sure if you have the prospects to do it, but if you do, it would be quite costly. A bigger guy, someone reliable, not injury prone. Perez has had injuries in the past, but he seems pretty durable this year, up over 100 now for the up over 106 innings pitched now. Looks like we might have a pinch hitter here. A little bit of a pause right now as we wait to see what's happening. Yep, Jeter Downs is definitely coming into the game. He's pinch hitting for Jarren Durant. Chapman losing a little bit on his fastball right now. That one was down to 98. Low and inside, Jeter fouls it off. And yes, I said Jeter for the Red Sox, not Jeter for the Yankees. No, it's still 1 out. They had the bases loaded with no outs a second ago. Chapman reaches back for a little extra on that one, down the middle, 99. Foul tip by Jeter, and it's 0-2. I do like Jeter Downs a lot as well. He's been a good prospect. He came over in that Mookie Betts deal, I believe. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of a, what would you call it? It seems just anyway for the Yankees to have a Jeter to cheer for. They had Clemens that also played for the Red Sox, and then the Yankees. It seems only fair that the Red Sox now have somebody named Jeter to cheer for. Just the way the symmetry of that works out, the rivalry back and forth. Now it's time for the Red Sox to have somebody, hopefully to have even half as good as Derek Jeter. Chapman delivers. Jeter pops it into the center. Out goes LeMahieu, flips around, and again off his glove, and it's going to be good. But there's still going to be 1 out at second base there as Ref Snyder had to hold up as LeMahieu was not able to corral the catch. It's now 7-6. Runners will be on first and third. LeMahieu, all kinds of twisted up. I don't understand why he called for it and called off Judge and the center fielder. Hicks took a couple steps back first, was not charging in for it. So maybe LeMahieu really thought he had it, but he tried to do a basket catch overhand and then flipped it underhand as he reached out for it. Just not a good look. They're going to call that a force out there. But Jeter Downs gets the job done, gets the winning, or gets the go-ahead run across. Christian Vasquez has absolutely obliterated the ball the last 2 times he's been up. Hit a home run in the 3rd, I believe. A double off the wall in the 5th. Here in the 6th, he comes up with a chance to do damage. J.D. Martinez, who also did damage in his last at-bat, due up after him. Best on best, Chapman versus Vasquez here. The pitch by Chapman, inside corner, 101 there. Nice pitch by Chapman. Got to tip your cap when you're able to reach back and do that. Vasquez in his career off Chapman, 2 for 10 with 3 strikeouts. So he has had some success. A base hit gives them a 2-run advantage. Home run really stretches things out for the Red Sox. The Yanks scored 2 runs in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. Since then, it's been Red Sox. Fastball right in there at the knees. And it's 0-2. Vasquez keeping that bat on his shoulder. Yes, he does. Just been a little wild with it this year. Isn't getting those border calls like he has been in the past, which is a little bit surprising, seeing as how they got a better pitch framer back there this year. That one well off the plate. They say at 102. 1-2 now. One and two the count to Vasquez. 2 outs here in the 6th. Red Sox in front 7-6 right now. Aroldis Chapman trying to work out of a bases loaded, no out jam. Swing and a miss down in the dirt, way inside. Vasquez fooled on that one, and Chapman gets out of it, allowing only the 1 run to score. It'll be Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton in the top half of the 7th for the Yanks. We'll see if they make a pitching change here as well for the Red Sox, as that half inning was pretty long. But so far in the game today, 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Yanks, 7 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. If you had to make a trade for a position player, who would you go for, John? Would you go for an outfielder? Try to bring back Benintendi? Do you make a play for Ohtani if he's available? Thank you guys for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. Been hovering around 12, 14 viewers now for the better part of the last 3 or 4 innings. So thank you guys. Really appreciate all the support we've gotten. Every single subscriber, we do appreciate. The more of y'all that subscribe, the more I'm able to put out content. And eventually, I can get rid of my 9-to-5 job and do nothing but content for you guys. Specialize my content a little bit more for every single team in every single league out there. We cover the MLB, NHL, NBA, and the NFL. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. And as I mentioned, we'll be doing a bunch of lives this week. We've already done 3 today. Did a doubleheader of the Angels and Orioles. Flowed that right into the Rangers and Twins game. And now doing the nightcap. I think he would be amazing in Boston as well. I just wonder what it would end up taking to get a player like Ohtani. Like, probably be like the top 4 prospects, honestly, from Boston. There's not too many top prospects Boston has to trade off. It'd probably take a guy like Jeter Downs going the other way as well. Think of the Cole Hamels trade and how much prospect capital the Rangers had to give away for something like that. And that was because of the contract control, not because of how good Cole Hamels was. But Ohtani is basically the equivalent of a great power hitter and a great pitcher rolled into one. It's going to be a massive package. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Although I think Aaron Judge right now would have an argument about the number 1 spot. But in either event, Trout and Ohtani are definitely 2 and 3 in my opinion. 2-0 quickly to Aaron Judge. Sawamura does come back out here for the 7th. But getting Ohtani would be a great get for Boston. And that, in my opinion, that might give them a real chance in the postseason, because right now I don't see them beating either Houston or the Yankees in a 7-game series. Yankees maybe just because of the rivalry, but I don't see them beating Houston. They need more to be able to get it done. I was worried about their offense, but after seeing what they actually have to work with, maybe, just maybe, they can get enough across. Judge fouls that one off, and it's now quickly 2 and 2. Got a bunch of y'all watching the stream in and out, so thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, Houston just has that pipeline of young pitching that's actually working out for them. Nice play there on to first, and Judge is retired. They've held Judge in check today. Jeter Downs making the play. The pitching staff, I think, of the Red Sox really does need an upgrade if they're going to really have a real chance in the postseason. So maybe they're a team that goes after one of these middling starters, since I don't think they have the prospect capital to go after a guy like Ohtani or Castillo or anyone like that. Maybe they take a lottery ticket and split the salary of Madison Bumgarner, but he's only been okay this year. But you put him in a pennant race, maybe he does much better. Sawamura, beautiful pitch on the inside corner. All Rizzo can do is just stare at it, and it's 0-2. Stanton due up next. Player of the game for the Yankees so far is Giancarlo Stanton. That pitch just off the outside corner, and it's 1-2. I agree, but that's the kind of pitcher I think you're going to end up having to deal with, is somebody like a Mad Bum or a Jose Quintana, mid-level starter. Think something like that at the deadline is probably what you're going to end up getting. Somebody who can eat innings just in case Sale and Eovaldi can't. Hard hit ball by Rizzo right to the first baseman, Dahlbeck. And the out is recorded. 2 outs for Giancarlo Stanton. Back in the first, Stanton absolutely murdered that ball, 114 miles an hour into the Red Sox bullpen. Got things started for the New York Yankees. It looked like it was going to be all Yankees early anyway, after they jumped out to a 6-2 advantage. And then the Red Sox have slowly chipped away, and now they've finally got the advantage. His last at bat in the in the fifth anyway, was a single. His softest hit ball by far, a 78 mile an hour little floater into center. So we're a little low on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-0. Make it 2-0. Rafael Devers not suited up at the moment. So they show him on their bench. No Kike Hernandez, no Chris Sale, no Eovaldi in this game. Sawamura, I don't know how that was called a strike, but it was. Looks like it missed by a good 2 inches below the zone. 2-1 now to Stanton. Here in the top of the 7th, 2 away. 7-6 the score. Red Sox in front. Oh, another pitch off the inside corner. Stanton's just getting ripped in this at bat, and it's 2-2. That should have been ball 4, honestly. You can tell he's upset about it. Can't do anything about it. Balls and strikes are still in the control of the umpire. Eventually, maybe robo-ump will come into play and be able to help out and at least make it equal to both sides. Sawamura, beautiful pitch there. Right on the inside corner, but Stanton able to foul that one away. Thank you guys for joining us. If we have any Yankee fans out there, what would you guys like to see at the deadline? Would you like to see Joey Gallo moved? What pitcher would you like to see come in? King Sean, you still with us? King Felix? Maybe, but his arm's dead. There's no bullets left in it. Up and in, and again off the plate, and Stanton can't believe it that he was called out and didn't have a single pitch in the strike zone in the entire at bat. Aaron Boone is hot and yelling at the home plate umpire. That was 6 straight balls, though. Wow. They have a bone to pick there. Not a single pitch in the strike zone. And he gets called out on strikes. I don't have a dog in the fight, so sorry, Red Sox fans. That was not a legitimate strikeout. Give me robo-umps. The other advantage of robo-umps I've mentioned before is that they don't have to focus on ball strike things. They can focus on the actual game in front of them. You see how the home plate umpire will say, "Oh, no, you went around. I saw it." Well, how did you see it? You were focusing on the ball strike call, weren't you? So how could you make the call on whether or not I went around? Well, now if you take that away from him, home plate umpire can actually focus on those kinds of things. Not saying he has the best view of it, but I can say he can focus on it a whole lot more than what they can right now. But thank you guys for joining our live stream. Good game so far. Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. Red Sox, of course, were down 6-2 early in the game, but have since stormed back. It's now 7-6. 6 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Yanks. 7 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. All 6 runs, 6 of the 7 runs from the Red Sox charged to Jameson Taillon. Chapman allowed 1 to come around in the last inning for the Red Sox anyway. Legend, yeah, King Felix is a legend. He always will be for Seattle anyway. I think he played for the Braves for a minute anyway last year. Cole Hamels, of course, is still out there as well, but sounds like he's gonna take his ball and try to sign with somebody next season. Although that's another season outside of Major League Baseball, and after only pitching like an inning last year, I don't really know how much you can expect out of Cole Hamels. Oh, I'm a legend. Thank you. I appreciate it. Why is that anyway? I try to do a lot of these lives and give you all a lot of content, but what makes me a legend? Yep, Aaron Boone did get thrown out of the game. And he earned it too. I do try to do a lot of live commentary, so give me a follow. Appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for joining us again. First pitch swinging here. Abreu is in. Wow. 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 That's going to be an error. Probably on IKF as that throw from short hopped into Rizzo. Rizzo unable to pick it. Yankees defense failing him there. Throwing error by IKF. Probably still should have been picked, honestly, but as it is, Red Sox have a runner on first. J.D. Martinez safe there. Aaron Boone was thrown out of the game in between innings anyway. Curveball there, up and in. It's Miguel Castro, not Albert Abreu in, sorry. Want to know the count to Xander Bogaerts. That pitch almost hits Bogaerts as he bends out of the way. 2-0. But that Aaron Boone definitely had a leg to stand on in that argument. Literally not a single pitch was in the strike zone on a called strikeout to Giancarlo Stanton. And that's all I need to know. I mean, I was already for robo-umps probably a year ago. Just all the bad calls we've seen this year. Angel Hernandez missing a record 28 ball strike calls in a single game. I think that set a record or something like that. And that's legitimate, like ball strike, when the umpires actually acknowledge, hey, they missed one. But 6 straight pitches. Trip Gibson, the home plate umpire, ejects Aaron Boone after that. Another ball inside, and it's 3-1. Where are you watching us from, Urin? Who you rooting for? Red Sox, Yankees, or do you not have a dog in the fight? I'm guessing at Urin is how you pronounce it. Jaron or Urin, one of the two. Hard J or a soft J. I guess it's probably Jaron. Boston bullpen getting some activity out there. 3-2 now the count to Bogaerts. And ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. Red Sox again getting some base runners via the walk. Between the Red Sox and Yankees, you can almost count on an ejection, especially on a Sunday night baseball game. Just watching those pitches again to Stanton. I mean, they're decently close, don't get me wrong. They're not horribly egregious calls, but I mean, every single one of them that was even marginal was going the Yankees' way or the Red Sox way in that plate appearance. I mean, you didn't let the player who's had the best success in the game actually get a decent pitch to hit in the strike zone, and you call him out on strikes. Not that you have to give him a decent pitch in the strike zone, you know, that kind of thing. But, I mean, none of them were on the border, you know. All of them were just a little bit off the plate, and he was getting the call. Castro delivers, and it's 2-0 now. Kind of surprised Trevino isn't going out here to settle him down after 2 have now reached. Verdugo is up. 261 batting average. He's 1 for 2 on the day, a single and a walk, 6 home runs, 46 RBIs with a 683 OPS. If he should reach, Story would be next. Red Sox looking to get some insurance runs here. Yankees have a prolific offense, definitely don't need any help. Two and one now to Verdugo after the foul ball. Hard hit ball between first and second. That gets into right. Judge up, and he throws to the cutoff man. It looks like you're going to leave him loaded. J.D. Martinez is the lead runner. Very slow at third base. Looks like we are now going to have a mound visit. Yankees yet again have the bases loaded in second straight inning and with no outs. Aroldis Chapman able to work around it last inning and only gave up the one run. Castro hoping to do the same this inning without giving up the run. An out can be recorded at any base. It'll be Story, Cordero, and Refsnyder. Pitching coach out there to talk to Cordero and settle him down. It is the Yankees and Red Sox rivalry. Nothing is for sure. Yankees are probably the best team, if not one of the best teams in all of baseball anyway. And just because you're 15 games up on your opponent, the Red Sox, does not mean that you're guaranteed to win, especially in a rivalry game. While we wait for them to finish their mound visit, just to remind you, we'll be doing a live stream on Wednesday. Join us around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. If you're at work, put us on in the background while you get some work done. As we go through every single NHL transaction, lots of free agent signings and trades will happen on that day. Most of it even gets done before 5 o'clock. So we'll try to do probably a 5, 6, 7 hour live stream on Wednesday. The second I get done with my event, I do have somewhere I have to be very early on in the morning. But once I get that done, I will be back and do that live for you guys. Might even do a baseball game in the evening. First pitch here to Story, fouled away, and it's 0-1. Story 1 for 3 on the day, a 223 average for the season, 717 OPS with 15 home runs. Bases loaded for the huge signing for the Red Sox. This one popped into deep center field, going back to the wall, high off the green monster, just to the left of the yellow home run line, and that clears the bases. All 3 runs come around to score, and it's 10-6 Red Sox. Ay, ay, ay. This has gotten ugly quick for the Yankees. Castro gives up that RBI double, missed a grand slam by about 6-7 feet. If that ball's hit 6-7 feet to the right, that's a home run. Just looking at it, about a little over halfway up the green monster. But as I mentioned, just a little bit more to the right, and that's a home run grand slam for Trevor Story. That'll definitely endear you to the Red Sox faithful. Congratulations, John. I know you're happy to see that for your Red Sox. Looks like we will have a pitching change here. Cordero unable to get it out, and it will be Albert Abreu who does come in out of the bullpen. He has latched on with the Yankees again this year after being traded away by the Yankees in the deal for Jose Trevino. He was then traded to the Kansas City Royals on a waiver claim for cash considerations, I believe, and then waived by the Royals, went unclaimed, and got picked up by the Yankees. And here we are. Franchi Cordero will be next, 1 for 2 on the day, a 251 average, 739 OPS with 4 home runs. One of those home runs, of course, came earlier in the game, a 2-run home run to get the scoring started for the Red Sox after the Yanks jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the first and second. Thank you guys again for joining us. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the alert button as well. That way you're notified when we do post a new video. We are on Twitter at at Upside SN. That way you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We'll post it on there as well. That way you guys can just click the link and just watch it instantly. You don't have to go search through it for YouTube or go to my page and then try to find it in there. Just go to my YouTube or go to my Twitter page here at Upside SN, and it'll lead you directly to the video you want to see. So appreciate all of you guys for all your support. Every single subscriber we gain really helps us on our drive to try to keep this thing going, make it even better. In the past 30 minutes, gained a couple more subscribers, so up to 328, trying to get to 1,000 definitely before November. If we can get that done, it would mean a lot to me. That's kind of a personal goal of mine. It is a lofty goal, I understand that, but every little bit helps. I mean, today only, just during the lives we've done, I think we've gained something like 15 subscribers today. That's a lot. So thank you, every single one of you. I know a lot of videos out there, you might have a viral video and you get 1,000 subscribers with one video that gets you 1 million views. But there's a lot of places you can go for sports contact. A bunt by Cordero, and it hits Cordero and gets away from Rizzo. That will allow the runner to get to third and now come around to score. It's now 11-6. The throw by Abreu to first base on the sac bunt by Cordero. I'm going to call it a sac bunt because I don't think he was trying to get bunt for a hit. It was a little bit of a surprise, but I think he was really trying to get the runner to third. Every runner counts. I mean, he wasn't running on the inside of the base path either. Just a great play there by Cordero. Great bunt. And Abreu just unable to get the throw there. I mean, he hits him in the back of the thigh. I mean, it wasn't close. There's no runner interference or anything like that. Just a poor play there by Abreu. And it's 11-6 Red Sox. Ugh. Getting ugly fast. Thank you, John. Really appreciate it. Abreu, a 2.79 ERA with 19 innings. And as I mentioned, he spent a lot of time bouncing around the league so far early this season. Hey, that time of the call goes the Yankees' way below the zone. Ref Snyder looks down to third base, a 976 OPS, 344 batting average, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. Worked a walk against Chapman in his first at-bat in the 6th. Came on as a pinch hitter for Jackie Bradley Jr. That pitch well inside, 99-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled off his foot. 0-2. Red Sox have scored the last 9 runs in the game today. Red Sox able to get to Chapman and then Castro here in the 7th, really to break this game open. Really appreciate that comment, though, John. There's some days when you want to make videos and you get up and you make a whole bunch of them, and then you go a couple days without making them, and you go, gosh, I don't want to do another one. So it is a lot of work, but I am actually thinking about doing weekly or daily wrap-ups as far as like around the sports, around like MLB right now, because there's going to be a lot of games for that. There's no games, of course, for MLB, NBA, or the NHL, but daily wrap-up videos might be something I end up doing as well to try to get more regular content. I have not seen Fuzzy. I'm unfamiliar with that one. I'll have to look it up. That is one thing I have considered. Trying to pick up the amount of lives that I do. Those seem to get me a lot of traction with you guys. The support that y'all give me during the lives really helps. I do try to put out more specific posts about certain subjects during the day more than anything else, along with the lives. Like, for instance, today, my I'll call it 6.5 hour live between the Angels and Orioles and Twins and Rangers anyway. That got over 1,000 views during a live. That's a lot for me, and I appreciate all the support. Tough pitch there by Ref Snyder, and that's a strikeout for Abreu. First out of the inning here in the 7th. I do most of the on-screen work. I got a friend of mine that helps out sometimes as far as like the technical details of how to get those things done. He has his own YouTube channel as well. And we're actually thinking about doing some type of collab sometime in the future. But He's working on his channel. He does a lot of Apple tech type projects. Nice pitch on the inside, hard hit ball. Safe at first. I thought that was caught in the air the way the cameraman actually had that. Maybe that was a one-hit smash by Dahlbach. Yeah, maybe it was a one-hit smash. Donaldson flipped to second and on to first. Either event, there's 2 away now here in the bottom of the 7th. I've seen him, yeah. I've seen John Boy before. Good defensive play there by Donaldson. Got another friend of mine. If you look back at some of the original content I made, I started out making some of the 10-minute long videos, really long, what would happen, why the, Pittsburgh Steelers should trade for Aaron Rodgers, that kind of thing. Made a 10-minute long video, had an intro and all that. Started going more of the shorts route, and those seem to be getting me a lot of traction, trying a little bit more of the lives. I do like Donaldson. He does worry me as far as his age. Of course, that's been a problem this last 4 or 5 years with injury. Swing and a miss there by Downs. That's quickly 0-2. I do think the Yankees made a misstep, though, when they traded for IKF and Donaldson. They should have just gone after Correa and invested very similar money and solidified that shortstop position. And now they'd be able to trade Volpe or any one of their other shortstop prospects that they have to fill their other needs. Ooh, Abreu wanted that one. 1-2 the count. Bottom of the 7th, 1-2 is the count to Jeter Downs, 11-6. Boston has scored the last 9 runs of the game. The pitch to Downs. Swing and a miss, 92-mile-an-hour breaking ball just below the knees. Entices the swing, and Abreu gets him out of it. Abreu very happy to be back in a Yankee uniform. Yeah. Actually went out and even created a whole intro video and everything for those long videos that I make. Got a nice little animation screen and everything. Haven't used it yet in a while, but I might start making some of those videos, kind of the what-if videos as we get into the NFL season, as the NFL starts with training camp soon. For instance, like the Carolina Panthers, who will start at quarterback? Should they start Baker? Should they start Darnold? Something like that. That'd be an easy one. Lakers, of course, have the trade that they're trying to get done for Kyrie Irving. Other options, of course, that they've tried to do are Buddy Hield and Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers. They don't have the pit capital to be able to get something like that done, though. Russell Westbrook making $47 million on an expiring deal. Not very attractive as a trade piece, as I expect he'll probably get bought out by wherever he gets traded to. Maybe he ends up going back to Oklahoma City, giving some veteran leadership there to that young team. But if he ends up staying in LA because that contract is unable to be traded, maybe he resurrects his career this year with the LA Lakers after a horrible year playing next to LeBron. Just to remind you guys, on Wednesday, we'll be starting a live around 9, 10 o'clock. Make sure you're tuned to us, NHL Free Agency. I'm sure during some of the slower time, we'll discuss some of the MLB trade deadline as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Stay updated with all the news from your favorite team from the MLB, NHL, NBA, and the NFL. Looks like if you're a Pats fan, you had a lot of success for a number of years. Bills look like the cream of the crop, though, in that division this year. Kansas City, after losing Tyreek Hill, I'm not sure if they're a worse team off, though, for getting rid of Tyreek Hill. They were able to move around the money a little bit. and it'll allow them to play more for consistent first downs as opposed to always going for the home run shot. You've seen them score like 28 points, score 28 and a quarter anyway, and then not be able to turn around and score anything the rest of the game. Matt Strahm is in, 3.71 ERA. The lefty deals to Josh Donaldson, and it's quickly 0-2. Looking at Strahm, he's 3-2 on the year, a 3.71 ERA. He's worked in 31 games, thrown 26 and 2/3 innings. The pitch by Strahm, just a little bit low. Donaldson taking all the way there. Off-speed pitch is unable to find the zone with that. Strahm set. Long hair from Strahm. Winds. A little bit of a sidearm delivery. Able to bend that one in there right at the knees. No argument from Donaldson. Gets the first strikeout of his young evening. Here in the top of the 8th, Boston 11, Yankees 6. With a win tonight, the Boston Red Sox move within 14 games of the AL East crown. I don't expect they'll be able to catch up to the Yankees this year in the standings, but they'll probably be able to hold on to a wild card spot if they're able to keep performance where it's at. I do expect the Seattle Mariners to eventually end up getting one of those spots as well. They just have a lot of things going their way right now. Heavy shift on right now for Carpenter as he takes strike one. Well outside, 1-1. Next will be Hicks, followed by Trevino. I think if you're able to solidify that rotation with an innings eater, at least, I think you will solidify a spot in the wild card. Toronto will likely get another wild card. So that's kind of my prediction right now. Yankees win the division. Red Sox, Mariners, and Blue Jays get the wild card spots. I think the Rays will probably end up falling out, but they have a lot of good pitching. They're going to be a tough out. Base hit there by Carpenter up the middle. Downs unable to get there with the heavy shift on for Carpenter. Carpenter continues the hot hitting. Aaron Hicks, the switch hitter, digs in from the right side this time with the lefty on the mound. Aaron Hicks hitting .239 on the year, .718 OPS. Does have 6 home runs on the year with 26 RBIs. He's gotten a walk in the game. He's 0 for 2 today, but has scored a run. The way Carpenter's blowing on his hands, you'd think it was cold there right now. Hicks hits that one, towering shot out to left. Will it get to the wall? If it doesn't, it's an out. Snow cone catch there by Verdugo. Whips it into second. Carpenter races back to first. There are 2 away. Almost got a wall ball there. As I mentioned, MLB trade deadline on August the 2nd this year. Should be a number of different storylines to kind of head into the All-Star break with. Joey Gallo, does he end up getting moved before the deadline? Or before the All-Star break, honestly. Pops straight up in the air by Trevino. And Downs is there, makes the catch, and that's the third out of the inning. Through 7.5, it's all Red Sox, 11-6. 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Yanks. 11 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. It was chilly after the game last night. Well, I'm in Texas, so chilly after about 10 o'clock is kind of unheard of. I think it was like 93 degrees the other night at like 10:30 in the evening. I was like, jeez. And I'm in the East Texas area, so the humidity on top of that really just compounds the problem. After the game yesterday, though, when the Twins and Rangers played, it was more of a dry heat. Dallas didn't have the humidity that I have here. Now you got me curious what exactly the temperature is right now anyway. It says 90 degrees. It's 9:30 at night and it's 90 degrees. Heat index 102. Is that what that says? Ouch. So yeah, it's a little toasty here. I'd trade your chili for any day of the week. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Vasquez, Martinez, and Bogarts up for the Red Sox. Abreu will be coming out for his second inning of work anyway. He came in after Castro was unable to get it out and allowed 4 to score. If you're just joining us anyway, the Yankees jumped out to a 6-2 lead after 3 innings after scoring 2 runs in the first, second, and third inning. A Christian Vasquez home run in the third, followed up by a 3-run fifth for the Red Sox. They tacked on another in the 6th to take the lead at 7-6. And then in the 7th, they added 4 more to stretch out that lead. It's now 11-6, and it's been all Red Sox, 9 consecutive runs for the Red Sox as the bats have gone quiet for the Yankees. Chapman and Castillo unable to get the job done in the bullpen. For the Yanks today, Tyone giving up 6 earned runs. Vasquez fouls one off there. Grounds this one to short. IKF, this time chest high to Rizzo, and he is retired. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. As a reminder, again, we will be doing a live on Wednesday, 9 a.m.-ish is when we'll start. NHL Free Agency. This weekend, of course, is the MLB Draft. Drew Jones expected to be the #1 pick. We'll see what ends up happening there. Probably do a couple of lives during the day and then try to live stream the draft and maybe a game at the same time. Draft is a little bit slow at the beginning. All the introductions and speeches. JD Martinez fouls that one away, and it's 0-1. Aaron Judge will not be in the home run derby this year, as that will be on the 18th of July. He said he's performed it once, and that's once is enough for him. I believe he did win it in 2017. The 0-1 to Martinez. Abreu working quickly today, at least quickly for a Yankee-Red Sox game anyway. Donaldson on a one-hop smash, chest high over to Rizzo, and quickly 2 away. Red Sox are 3 outs away from securing the victory today. We'll see if they're able to shut the door here on the Yanks, but you can never really count them out. Bogarts is up. He's 1 for 3 today, a .309 average, .834 OPS with 7 home runs. If you're just joining us, you also missed Aaron Boone getting ejected after the top of the 7th anyway, after a strike 3 call to Giancarlo Stanton, where he was not thrown a single strike during the entire at-bat, according to pitch tracks, yet he was still called out on strikes. Bogaerts with a single, a walk, and has scored a run today. Ball 1 to him there. Up and in, fouls it back behind home plate, and it's 1-1. Giancarlo Stanton, before that strikeout anyway, was 2 for 3, hit a 114-mile-an-hour 2-run home run in the first inning, an absolute smash in his second at-bat right to Xander Bogaerts that literally knocked him off his feet as he tried to protect his face like this, but still was able to hold on to the ball. Literally knocked him onto his keister. And then had a 78-mile-an-hour dump into center that got through. Bogaerts, a little dribbler up the middle, is able to find its way into center, and he reaches with a 2-out single. He is now 2 for 4 in the game. Alex Verdugo is next. Yankees hoping to shut things down here and get back up to bat. Don't want that deficit to get any larger. It's right now 11-6 Boston. Verdugo is 2 for 3 in today's game. 263 average, a 687 OPS with 6 home runs. Strike there at the very bottom of the zone to Verdugo, and he's behind 0-1. Good mix there by Abreu. Gets a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right at the bottom of the zone and then spins off of that a sinker that sinks just below that at 100. Verdugo able to lay off, though. 46 RBIs on the year for Verdugo, has 2 singles in the game. One and one the count. Abreu up to 20 pitches now. Here's number 21. The pitch. Grounded over to second. LeMahieu flips on to first, retiring Verdugo by a mile. And to the 9th we go. It'll be Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, followed by DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge. Last chance for the Yankees to get something done here. They do trail by 5, but there's a reason why they're called the Bronx Bombers, hoping to get something done here. And no Aaron Boone to lead the way, though, on the bench, as he was ejected for arguing balls and strikes in the 7th. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Make sure you hit that alert button as well. That way, when we do go live, you can join us whenever you're able to. Also, follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. Be notified whenever we post a new video. Whenever we do go live, we'll always post on there to let you know that we just posted or that we're just about to go live. We'll do that on Wednesday when we go live for the NHL Free Agency. We'll do that on Sunday when we do a couple of lives as well. We'll try to do a couple more live games this week as well. Did 3 of them today. Try to do at least a couple more during the week. But again, I do work a 9 to 5. The more of you guys that subscribe, the more content I can put out. And eventually, hopefully, I can get rid of the 9 to 5 and just focus on this, make very specific content for every single one of your favorite teams. So like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Really means a lot to you, or to us anyway. And we've gained a lot of subscribers today, but we got a long way to go. So let's see if we can make it happen. Looks like the Red Sox are going to end up going to their bullpen here. It'll be Ryan Brazier coming in, a 4.55 earned run average. He will face Isaiah Carter-Fluffa, the 9-hole hitter, followed by DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge. Brazier wears number 70 anyway. He's 34 years old, 0-2 on the year. Thrown in 34 games, 31 and 2/3 innings pitched. Has pitched in a couple of games of this series already. Last night did not go well for him. Allowed 2 earned runs, 3 hits, and only recorded the 1 out. That out was via the strikeout. On the 7th, anyway, he did come in and record a shutdown inning anyway. That's what the Red Sox are hoping for here. A nice bounce back effort for Brazier. Strike 1 there to IKF. Brazier set, and the pitch. Nice curveball slider there on the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2. When you're up by 5 runs, all the manager wants you to do is throw strikes. Yanks hoping for a comeback, even though it's been all Red Sox since the 3rd. A high bouncer, bare hand by Downs, on to first. Close play there. Dahlbeck with the stretch makes the out. Yanks down to their final 2 outs. Nice play by Jeter Downs, a nice bare hand play, charging in. You can kind of see why they like Jeter Downs, not just for his offensive abilities, but for the defense as well. That looked really close at first base, though. Just beats the runner there. Looking at the replay. Yep, and I mean just. Thanks for joining us, Sean. Appreciate it. If you're the one that just subscribed to us, we really appreciate it. Double thumbs up. Every subscriber we gain really does help us as we try to get up to 1,000 by the end of the year, really by November, honestly. Like to get out as much content we can as far as what the heck was that by Dahlbeck and Story. I agree with you there. It's like Dahlbeck kind of, I don't know, the sand monster got him on the way over there. And then Story, I don't know if he found a hole in his glove or something. Okay, Dahlbeck first took a couple steps in. He probably should have just kept on going. I think that might have thrown off Story, but Story should have had that one. That went right under his glove. In either event, there is a runner on here. Yanks still have a little bit of hope. Aaron Judge is up. But thank you guys. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It means a lot to us. Aaron Judge, a 284 average, 30 home runs, 65 RBIs, 1 for 4 on the day, a 974 OPS. Takes a ball on the inside half of the plate. Just off the inside half of the plate anyway. Nice slider there, 83 miles an hour right down Broadway. 1-1. The pitch by Brazier. Judge taps that one back towards the Yankees dugout, and it's 1-2. Red Sox hoping for a double play here to end it. Judge hasn't had his monster game like usual, but he has gotten a base hit today. Yanks hoping to keep this thing going. Grounded to third. Jeter Downs, a high jump to get it. Story flips on to first, and they do get the double play. Yankees lose 11-6. Red Sox scored 9 straight runs to end it. 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Yanks. 11 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. The story of the game, pitching. Pitching. The bullpen came in and gave up 5 runs for the Yanks. The bullpen for the Red Sox was able to shut things down after Pivetta gave the Yankees all 6 runs in the first 3 innings. Nice way to recover by the Red Sox to a team that, from the outside looking in, they are overly matched by. The Yankees have all the lineup strength. They have all the starting pitching. They have good relief pitching. But today, when it comes to a rivalry, you never know who's going to win. But today, Red Sox are able to get some justification and get the win against their rival. 11-6 is the final. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys joining us here for our 3rd live of the day. Have a great night, John. Appreciate you for joining us. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please do so. We'll be doing some more lives this week. And let us know in the comment section what live you would like us to do, which game you'd like us to follow. And on Wednesday, make sure you follow us here for all the NHL transactions that are going to happen as free agency opens on Wednesday. We'll be starting that live at around 9:30 in the morning as soon as I get back from my event. But thank you guys for joining us for a great day of baseball, and appreciate all of you who subscribed, and hopefully we can keep this going. Thank you guys, and y'all have a great evening.